now big boy news and opinioendo brought to you by...
Scott Hale is offering a $49 furnace tune-up. For appointments scheduled by October 31st, you need to call 801-264-HALE.
So there's this TV show called Dancing with the Stars, which implies, the name of the show implies that they get stars to dance on this show. Cody Rigsby.
Never heard of him.
Gina, he's a star Peloton instructor.
That's why
I've
never.
So he's famous to some. Okay.
There you go. The reason he's in the news is I think he's got COVID and has had to kind of drop out of the show. But I think there's been another one or two on Dancing with the Stars. Again, stars that you've probably really never heard of. I looked at a list of the stars this year, and I recognized very few names on it.
They can't get actual stars to do it.
Peloton star Cody Rigsby. Saturday Night Live was premiered on this past Saturday night, and the ratings were not great. They were down more than 50% from last year. Even with the end of season 46. They some new things on the show. Owen Wilson was the host. He was amiable and, he just kept moving things along. But it didn't seem to be anything very special about the show, though. Although I did like the little tribute to Norm Macdonald, where they showed him doing Saturday, the Weekend Update. He was the anchor for Weekend Update. And I'd forgotten how really good he was at that. He was excellent at that. And they even did one of his classic OJ jokes, which got him fired ultimately from the show, from Saturday Night Live, because one of the producers was friends with OJ. And he said, I want you to stop doing the OJ Simpson joke. And Norm
the
Macdonald
biggest story in the country? You want me to ignore the biggest?
Well, I don't think Norm Macdonald did it out of any sense of principle. I think he did it. He kept doing it because this guy told him not to. And the joke he did was, you might have it. Maybe we'll play it later.
We'll play it later. Yeah.
Okay. I won't try to recreate it because I'm not Norm Macdonald.
The thing I did notice, though, I thought that the Cars sketch that they did was funny, and the Star Trek sketch was funny.
Yeah,
but
they were pretty
good.
But
they had some new people on the show, and there's this guy there, James Austin Johnson, who kind of caught my eye. He was the guy who did Biden at the beginning.
Yeah.
But he also did a sports announcer toward the end. And he was I got a good feeling about him. I think he's going to go places. He's very funny.
And apparently Casey Musgraves performed naked. She had just a guitar and boots, and then she was not wearing any clothes other than that.
Guitar? Was it a big guitar?
Yeah, she was covered up, but she was naked.
See, and I wasn't paying attention. I let it play so I could listen to it. I didn't watch the performance.
She was nude. David Lee Roth says he's retiring. Oh, we already went through that, didn't we? The coronavirus update here for the United States. What's going on? Well, Dr. Fauci seems to think that we're kind of turning a corner and moving on to better times, although he said it's still too early to let your guard down. But the U.S. is turning the corner on the COVID-19 surge, but vaccination remains key to ensuring cases continue trending downward ahead of the holiday season, Dr. Fauci said. The U.S. is averaging around 107,000 new infections every day, down from more than 150,000 just last month. Rates of hospitalization and deaths have also been on the decline. That's nationwide. There are places in the country where that's not the case, but the way to keep it down, to make that turnaround continue to go down, is to get people vaccinated, he said.
You hear that, Idaho? Are you listening? No, they're not.
No.
And I heard a doctor over the weekend. His name was Scott Foley. He used to be with the
And the kids in the hall?
No. He used to be with the CDC, I think. At any rate, he said something interesting about coronavirus. He said, "I don't think it's ever going away.
Well, no.
We will learn to live with it."
That boat. There was a time we could have eradicated
we
it.
could have.
That time has passed.
Southern Utah University, down in Cedar City. If you want to get a college education and you don't want to get vaccinated, head down there. Go there. The Cedar City-based university announced Friday it had made the decision after consulting with students, staff, and others in the community, based on our ongoing conversations with campus leaders as well as public health officials. Right. Local leaders and members of the state legislature, that I'm sure of.
Where's the health department?
Okay.
I didn't hear them mention the health department.
Or doctors.
They say in the statement, public health officials.
Oh, okay.
This is a complicated issue.
That's Joe Rogan they're talking about.
While we all share a common goal of health and safety, there are differing opinions and factors to consider and how we best reach that goal, the university said. Due to these added complexities and additional conversations, we have determined it would not be prudent for our institution at this time to implement a vaccine requirement for students.
And so, as a parent deciding where to send my children to school, that would be a deciding factor me to not send them to SUU.
Well, I don't want this to happen, but I would like to see a real focus on statistics on Southern Utah University and see how many people start dropping dead over the next few months. Let's just see what happens there. There was a big protest in downtown Salt Lake on Saturday. 1,000 people rallying for women's rights. There was a march up to the Capitol from the city-county building. It started out kind of small, apparently, at the city-county building, but by the time they started moving up toward the Capitol, more and more people started joining in, and it was I saw it, it was a pretty big crowd.
Oh, yeah.
And so the estimate here is there were 1,000 people. Most recently in Utah, the ACLU and Planned Parenthood have sued state lawmakers passing a bill that banned abortion after 18 weeks of gestation. A federal judge put that law on pause as it makes its way through the courts. If our Utah legislators try to pass any more abortion restrictions or anything similar to what we're seeing in Texas, we brought one of our own lawyers here today to send this message. We'll see you in court. So, and it was a good crowd. It was good to see, and there was a lot of police presence there too, I noticed. So Joe Manchin, Democrat.
You mean President Joe Manchin?
Is he really a Democrat?
He had an exchange with some protesters. These protesters had gotten canoes, and they paddled in the Potomac River. They paddled up to Mr. Manchin's $250,000 houseboat that he keeps moored on the Potomac River. By the way, the boat's name is Almost Heaven, and they started haranguing him about Medicare and health care. And Joe Manchin, leaning over the deck of his opulent houseboat, said, well, we can't do that right now. We can't do that. We've got to fix some other things. So if you people are sick and you can't get health care, that's just too bad. Sorry.
It's funny, though, whenever you want a plane or a missile built, we manage to find the money. So
up at Utah State University, there's a couple of things in this story that bother me because they leave things out. But they found an orphaned bear cub up in Logan. And she is getting the care she needs thanks to the efforts of Utah State University and the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources and the USDA National Wildlife Research Center. The bear cub has special needs and was very underweight and dehydrated when they first discovered the bear Wildlife officials just happened upon it in the forest. Normally, by this time of the year, these bear cubs are about 60 pounds or something like that, said Darren DeBluis, a game mammals coordinator for the Wildlife Resources, Utah Department of Wildlife Resources, and that's plenty big enough. But this bear is very underweight, and we're feeding her and getting her, nursing her back to health. One of the problems, though, is that bear cubs learn how to be bears because there's usually a cub mate. You know, they have at least, the mother usually has at least two babies, and sometimes three. But so this little bear doesn't have anybody to teach her how to be a bear, and they're kind of worried about that. But here in the story, it doesn't indicate how did this cub become orphaned. I think there's a story there that should be told. Did the mom just leave? I don't think so.
She has a crack habit.
Yeah, did she get another job, or so I'm afraid this bear met a bad end, and I don't know why they're not talking about that in this story, but I don't know. And I didn't look into it. There's probably some details available somewhere. And then
speaking of bears, I heard a story over the weekend about pizzles and growlers.
Huh?
Pizzles?
Can you guess what pizzles and growlers are?
No.
Well, or Pisleys. Sorry, Pisleys.
Yeah,
Pisleys?
Pizzles are something that you...
Pisleys and... So this is a climate change thing.
Okay.
Because polar bears have, they used to, they hunt on the ice and they get the seals, but there's no ice anymore, so they're coming onto the mainland.
Oh, okay.
And they're mating with grizzly bears. And there's this new hybrid bear, and depending on whether the boy or the girl is the polar bear or the grizzly bear, they're either called Pisleys or growlers.
Okay, all right.
And they're a mixture. They're pretty cute.
I don't think they ought to be mixing like that.
No, but it's life finds a way. But the sad part is that the polar bears should just stay on the ice with the polar bears, but they can't anymore.
It's a Pizzly.
Yeah, Pizzly.
Pisleys. All right. Weather, traffic.
Let's see if climate change is affecting our weather locally. Let's see. It'll be quite warm today, 81, and sunny today. It's currently 54. And then looks like today's the warmest, sunniest, hottest day of the week, because we're going to have a pattern of showers, it looks like, coming in Tuesday night and continuing through the rest of the week. So
good.
If you want to be outside, looks like today is your outside best chance for an outside day. Let's see if there's any traffic to tell you about. See if friends of the program have sent in anything too. We appreciate it when you do that. 33986 is the text line. Just make sure you are in a safe spot to text before you send us stuff. I see somebody sent something in, and you're doing voice to text, and it doesn't make sense. Bless you for sending it in. Maybe try again there. That's the only traffic I have to tell you about. So 33986 again is the number.
All right. Amy Donaldson Sports brought to you by?
Brought to you by Prepare for Winter by checking your furnace for safety and efficiency. Get your furnace inspected by a licensed contractor. Another helpful tip brought to you by Dominion Energy.
Amy Donaldson Sports. Break.
And thank you, Dominion Energy. That is helpful.
It is.
Amy Donaldson, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine.
Amy is a reporter, sports reporter. She's a podcaster. And you can follow her on Twitter, AD on Sports, and you can listen to her podcast, Voices of Reason, wherever fine podcasts are available. So, sports, please, Amy.
Yes, yeah, and at the end of the sports, I have a major business announcement, so don't let me forget.
Okay.
We have BYU won the battle for the old wagon wheel this weekend. They beat USU 34-20. Thanks to running back Tyler Algier. He scored 3 touchdowns. Their second-string quarterback, Baylor Romney, was actually knocked out at the end of the first half, has a concussion. And so their third-string quarterback, a freshman named Jacob Conover, took over in the second half. he did just enough so they could beat USU and have all the bragging rights in the entire state. So
what happened to their first-string quarterback? I don't recall.
He bruised his ribs like 2 weeks ago against Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the end of that game, and so I think they're just waiting to see if he. Last I heard, he couldn't even move without pain. So they say he's almost ready. They play Boise State this Saturday. Not sure he'll be ready for that game, and also anyone who's had a concussion knows that's a complete mystery. He could be fine today. He could have concussion symptoms for months. So, But anyway, they move up in the AP poll to number 10, which is great for BYU fans and great for Utah. In Utah, police made an arrest in the Aaron Lowe killing. Book M. Book, he's a resident of Draper. You'll see a bunch of stories with some pretty horrific details about what happened the night that Aaron was killed. And
this wasn't just like a drive-by random. It was aggressive and very violent.
So there was and this gentleman, even though he's young, he's actually has a known gang affiliation, and he was arrested in 2019 for an armed robbery of a father and his daughter. So he has criminal history, and I'm not exactly sure what he was doing free and at the party. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how this unfolds. Related to that, Donovan Mitchell participating in Jazz preseason camp. He wore number 22 one of the days to honor both Aaron Lowe and Ty Jordan. If you remember, Aaron was actually wearing number 22 to honor Ty Jordan, who was killed in an accidental shooting last Christmas. The Utes had a bye, which was well-timed, but they play USC, ranked number 9, on Saturday at 6 p.m., and anybody who watched the Pac-12 over the weekend saw Oregon lose to Stanford and knows that this league is nutty, so we'll see what happens there. But outcry over sexual harassment, and I am changing the words of this story to say sexual assault, not sexual misconduct. If you force someone to have sex with you, that's called rape. So I need all my fellow reporters to actually say sexual assault when that's what the facts support. But it rocked the National Women's Soccer League, forced games to be called off. The Players Union asked games to be called off for the weekend. Commissioner Lisa Baird, she resigned on Friday. FIFA took the rare step of announcing it's going to investigate the league's response to these allegations. They were made by 2 players in an article in The Athletic. The claims came from Sinead Farley and Mana Shim. They were leveled against North Carolina coach Paul Riley, who has coached at least 2 other teams I know of in the league. And these women reported sexual harassment and sexual assault, and nothing was done about it. He was fired in Portland, where he worked for the Thorns, and they say they reported the abuse to the leagues and sexual harassment to the league, and nothing was done about it. And this is, I think, there was a bunch of discussion and speculation about how is there a reckoning in women's sports, and I would say that there was a woman who wrote a book, Julie DeCaro. She wrote a book about a year ago about women in sports, and said in that book, and took some heat for this, but the Me Too movement it kind of fizzled out in sports. It didn't really extend to women in sports, and that she was talking about sports journalists and athletes, and I think you're seeing some of that now, where women are just willing to talk about it, or if there's 2 or 3 of them, they'll get together. It didn't catch a lot of attention. Like, it was definitely active in one section of Twitter, but it certainly didn't make it much onto the mainstream sports stage, and we'll see what happens. But it's a pretty horrific allegations. And, the thing was, one of the news articles I read listed all the sexual harassment and misconduct allegations that have happened in the league in the last 9 or 10 months, and they didn't even list the Utah Royals. If you remember, their coach was fired for inappropriate conduct or something, and nobody really explained what that was, but the rumor was it was along these lines. So of sexual harassment or sexism is what they said, sexism. So you can figure out, I don't know. It's very frustrating. So Also, from our very important sports correspondent, Olympic gold medalist swimmer Cleet Keller pleaded guilty to obstructing an official proceeding for his part in storming the Capitol on January 6th.
What?
He did so in his Team USA jacket, which helped identify him.
Good Lord.
Giving swimmers everywhere a bad name. So, let's see. Oh, also the Yankees and the Red Sox, they each won on their final day of the season. So they will face each other in the wild card playoff game Tuesday in Boston. Your other AL playoff teams are Tampa Bay, Chicago White Sox, and the Houston Astros. In the National League, the playoff teams are Atlanta Braves, Milwaukee Brewers, San Francisco Giants, and St. Louis and the LA Dodgers will play in the National League wild card game.
Boy, Tampa Bay must just be sports crazy. That town right now must be just sports crazy.
I almost forgot. Speaking of Tampa Bay, Tom Brady is not human. This is for Gina, specifically for Gina. He sets the all-time career passing yardage record against his old team. Like how this is karma, baby. Against his old team, the Patriots. Tampa Bay beat New England 19-17. He breaks Drew Brees' record of 80,358 yards. And he now qualifies for AARP benefits as well. So
amazing.
amazing. Also, Zach Wilson, he threw 2 touchdown passes. No, he's not done. No. He will be playing for a while. So, but that's his mystery. He says it's because he doesn't eat tomatoes and bell peppers. I'm very suspicious.
They're candy. Tomatoes and bell peppers are candy. What?
I am suspicious.
Oh, wait, no, Amy had something else. Amy had something else.
Oh, yes.
Don't forget.
That's right.
Okay.
There have been some announcements of late of giant sports mergers in the media universe, and I would like to announce a one that's going to rock everyone's world, the merger of very important sports and Title IX. So now every time you hear Amy Donaldson or Title IX Sports, you will hear a VIS news, and I will offer the same to very important sports. So we are going to be the juggernaut of sports.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, well.
This is big news.
That is big news. We're excited to help
When does this
facilitate
start?
that.
Does this start now or when?
Well, it started this morning. I had
she gave a very important sport.
You're storming the Capitol swimmer. That was brought to you by Very Important Sports.
All right, there we go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy Donaldson. Follow her on Twitter, ADOnSports.
Thank you, Amy. Oh, all right. Traffic, please, Gina.
A free gas can, I-15 southbound, 13 south on-ramp. So that's a valuable item you might pick up on your commute this morning. 2 separate rear-end accidents northbound I-15 between Point of the Mountain and Bluffdale in the center lane, so it's causing some slowage through that area. Actually, 3 lanes are being affected there, 152nd south. Crash northbound I-15 28 south in South Salt Lake. That's off to the right shoulder. And a crash westbound 31st Street, northbound I-15 junction. This is up in Weber County, Ogden area. And what are you seeing? More free gas cans, mattresses, animals running loose? You can text it to us, 33986, and we'll pass it along. X96 Botanical Halloween festivities at Red Butte Gardens from October 14th to October 31st. If you want more information on that, you can go to x96.com.
All right. Thank you very much. We will take a break. We will be back. Round 1 of your boners, big boy news, all coming up in a bit. KXRK Provo. Time once again.
I had a bizarre experience yesterday.
What?
So I don't order a lot of stuff from Amazon, but my gosh, it's really convenient.
I was going to say, why not?
I mean, I don't know why I don't do it more, but it's
because it hurts local businesses.
Yeah, I'd rather shop
that's
locally.
The reason you shouldn't.
I'd rather shop locally, but there were every once in a while there's a specialty item I can't find, or I can't find. Maybe it's some clothing I can't find the right size or whatever. So anyway, I ordered this item. It doesn't matter what it was from Amazon. And it was $10. and it was free shipping because I'd have Amazon Prime. So, and then the way they track the packages, man, it's really slick. I mean, they say, okay, the package is left here, and now it's here, and now it's here, and then they say the package has been delivered to your house. It's on your front porch, and it was there at 3:15.
Yeah.
So when it said that, I went out and there was no package. And I'm looking around. I go, there's no package anywhere. But clearly it said 3:15. So I got a hold of Amazon, and they said, well, I said maybe it just got delivered. It must have just gotten delivered somewhere else. And they said, well, we'll just refund your money. And I said, well, I don't know. Should I wait a day or two? Well, you could, but we'll just refund your money, and we'll give you a $5 credit for your trouble. And I said, okay, thanks. And then I thought, I'm not going to order that thing again anyway. I'll go try and find it somewhere else. So yesterday, the woman next door comes over and says, here, this was delivered to my house. Now, Amazon has already said they're going to credit my account for $10. So she comes over and says, here, this package was delivered here accidentally. It's for you. It's the missing item. So my decision then is, do I keep it and steal $10 from Amazon? Or no, I don't. So
now you're on record.
Right. Well,
This is the radio bill?
So I say to myself, no, of course I don't. And I called them. It was such a hassle to get them to take $10 back from me. I was on the phone for a half an hour. It's like they couldn't figure out how to do it practically.
Nobody's ever called to give us money back.
I said, I just don't want to cheat you out of this $10. Okay. It's like
we're not used to people.
It's just $10.
Doing the right thing.
I mean, I was on hold for 20 minutes while this woman tried to figure out how to. She wasn't quite. So either she was inept or it just doesn't happen. I don't know. But what a hassle to give them back their $10. And I hope I still get my $5 credit.
I'm sure you will.
I hope.
Let's see. We got boners round 1 coming up. Big boy news and innuendo all on the way.
Mm-hmm. I went to a funeral on Saturday in Layton. It was a funeral for my ex-mother-in-law, my ex-wife's mother, who was a wonderful woman. 94 years old, lived life with zest. This woman loved to go to the gaming places, Las Vegas, go up to Fort Hall, the reservation up there, the Indian reservation, and there's a casino there, and they like to play bingo, and any time she could get somebody to take her to Wendover. She just loved that, and I mean she never lost very much money, but she was just one of the almost always cheerful. I don't think I ever saw her not be cheerful. She was a great person. So I went to the funeral and saw a lot of ex-relatives and that, but I took my car. So I was in the parking lot of the mortuary, and the cemetery is at the mortuary as well. So my car was in the parking lot, but I wanted to drive it closer down the road to the gravesite. So I said, I'm going to go get the car. You guys, my family was with me, and they just walked down to the gravesite, and I went and got the car and drove down this little road to be closer to it. And I have a kind of car that's keyless entry. It's got you press a button, and the key, you keep the key fob in your pocket, and you press a button, and it starts the car and all that stuff. So I parked the car, put on the brake, and I got out of the car and closed the door, and it was beeping at me. The car started beeping at me. What? And I opened the door and looked in, and I couldn't figure out. And I tried to lock it, and it wouldn't lock. The lock kept popping. And I thought, oh, my wife's keys are in here. That's why it's doing that. That's why it's doing that. So I just shut the door. Nobody's going to steal anything from it. We're close by, and I walked up to the gravesite, and we were up there 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. And we came back to the car, and my wife said, "The car's still running, you know." I said, "What?" Oh,
it's very quiet.
It is. It's very quiet. I've done that before, but I've caught it. I've gotten out of the car. I've been doing something in the car while it's in the garage or something, and it's still running. And I've gotten out, and it'll beep or something, and I'll go, "Oh." This time, I don't know why.
You need an older car, Bill. You need an old rumbly that's spewing, blue smoke out of the back. So how
stupid can a person be?
Or conversely, an electric car that just shuts itself off when you walk away.
That would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice.
It knows more than you do.
Yeah.
So it was there running like 20 minutes or something like that.
Wow.
Half an hour or something. I don't know.
You kept it warm. You're keeping the car warm.
Yeah, it was ready to go. That's for sure. And when I walked down to the car, there were some people standing by it, and I wonder if they thought, "Why is this car running?" Oh, that's Bill Allred's car. He's got to make a getaway. That's what it is. Yeah, so that was just about as dumb a thing as I could do. Man, stupid. But
how was Ogden, though? You were in Ogden.
Well, I was in Ogden the next day.
Oh,
I hadn't driven on Highway 89 for a while.
Yeah, that's fun, isn't it?
Well, it's a lot better.
But you have to pay attention because there's it's one of those situations where there's off ramps on both sides of the highway. They're not like all on the right side. Sometimes they're on the left side, and you have to pay attention where you're.
Yeah,
going.
Well, whereas in the old days, Jeannie, you could drive that without paying attention at all. So,
well, no, you could drive that and just.
What's nice about it is there are no longer any traffic lights.
Right.
on any of that stretch from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from from Lagoon, you go up on the mountain, or they call it the mountain road, or no lights anymore.
Oh, good.
Which
That
is
was that was the
much
only
better.
thing. That was the thing I hated about that run of road was all the stoplights.
Yeah, so they've redone it so that there are just no stoplights.
I was coming down from Huntsville over Trappers, get to the top of Trappers Loop, and it's a dead stop.
Yeah, you can't.
And I can look down all the way winding down at dead stop and we sat there, and then I felt so bad for this poor police officer that was walking up the hill and stopping at every car and coming up to the driver's side and saying, "This is going to be a while."
It was 4 hours. It was closed.
4
Really?
hours.
Wow.
Yeah. Bad accident.
Wow.
Rollover like
So did you just turn
trailer
around?
over. Well, but the problem was Ogden Canyon was closed.
Oh,
for
they opened
construction.
it back. They opened it up.
Yeah. But
so because of that.
But nobody knew that. That's why there were so many people on Trappers in the first place, because everyone was going that way. So it took me 2.5 hours to get to Salt Lake from there, because we had to go back down the canyon. But I felt so bad for this poor police officer. I'm like, you're really walking to every car on this whole line
My job,
saying,
ma'am.
"Turn around."
It's my job, ma'am.
Turn around.
This is the serve part of protect and serve.
But yeah, so Joe had stayed back in Huntsville, and I called him and I said, make sure you check before you leave. And Bill's right; it was closed for 4 hours.
Yeah,
That's how-
I just happened to see something about it in the paper, and they said it was closed like from 1 to 5.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
crazy.
Wow.
It was, and I knew it. We were driving up to Ogden, and on one of the readers it said, "Trappers Loop closed." You know, trying to alert people to it, and my wife said, "What? I wonder why it's closed." And I said, "It must be an accident."
It was a tractor trailer that overcorrected and flipped.
Oh, yeah, that's a mess. I left the house once this weekend.
Where did you go?
Went down to Yanni's to get a gyro.
Good
A
for you.
YERO euro?
That's it. No,
And you had to get out of the car to go in there and get it.
no, I drive
No,
up.
it's drive.
Oh, they have a drive-through there?
Yeah, I went in my pajamas.
I'm going down to Yanni's to get myself a euro.
I left the
That
house.
was it. That was
it.
Well,
That's some strides for me. Okay.
yeah. Well, congratulations, Carrie. Was the euro good?
It was delicious. Red sauce, which is apparently a fight.
Yeah, no, you don't do the red sauce.
Well, see that's the thing. I told Shannon. I was talking with him on the phone. I said I'm gonna go down to Yanni's and get a red sauce gyro, and he goes, "I can't talk to you anymore." And hung up the phone. All right. Didn't know it was a bone of contention.
I don't think I've ever even tasted the red
Oh,
sauce.
they're delicious. They're just delicious. Anyway, traffic. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have an update. 2 separate rear-end accidents northbound I-15 between Point of the Mountain and Bluffdale, affecting a couple of lanes of traffic. Friend of the program says, sorry, talk to text can be awful. There was a crash right before the 304 and 305 exit, caused some traffic backup, pulled off to the side, hopefully starting to clear up by now. Thank you. Free washer dryer. Wow, both of them? You did both of them? I-80 eastbound before Saltaire. Also, free shoe on the ramp westbound to go to Parley Summit. It doesn't say whether it's left or right. People, we need details here.
Come on now.
left shoe or right shoe? Because I could use a left shoe.
But you don't want to pull over if it's the
No.
wrong, that's a waste of time.
Yeah.
The Show You Care gas can exchange is happening October 9th at 8 a.m. at the Salt Lake County Environmental Health Department in Murray. Come early, supplies will run out.
Boner's round 1 coming up. Here are the candidates you will be considering. Boner candidate number 1. It's her own dumb ass fault. No, it's her own dumb asphalt. Anyway, Boner candidate number 2. Our neighbors are just dicks. And Boner candidate number 3. He's a gifted artist, so he deserves a second chance.
All right, Boner's round 1, along with Big Boy News and Opinioendo, all coming up. Stand by. Oh, Hoops Vision Correction, HOOPES Vision.com.
You know, at Hoops Vision, It's a story they've heard before, and they hear this all the time. Wow, I can't believe just yesterday I couldn't see without glasses or contact lenses, and then today I woke up and I could see everything clearly. That's an amazing thing when you think about it.
And then you'll do that phantom eyeglass thing for a while, where you're reaching up at your glasses that aren't there.
Like Carrie always says, I wish I'd done this sooner. Don't do that. Do it now. Go to Hoops Vision. You can use your HSA or your health account to pay for LASIK. And Hoops Vision is offering financing to fit almost any budget, including care credit and 0% interest. So get your free LASIK consultation and learn more about it today. Call 877-30-LASIK. That's 877-30-LASIK, or go to hoopsvision.com.
Hello, kiddies. It's me, your old friend, the bookkeeper. I'm here to help you with your taxes. Today, we're going to hear a tale from the old ledger which should simplify on how to fill out those pesky forms. Pay close attention now, so you won't have to pay even more later.
You can come on in now, Mr. Irvine.
Thank you. You can call me Lemar.
Lemar. Okay. My secretary said you had some questions concerning your tax forms?
Well, yeah. There ain't enough places on this here 1040A. I was wondering if there was a special form or maybe a separate schedule I should fill out.
Enough places for what?
My wives.
Oh, you should only list your current wife on your tax forms. Your ex-wife will have to file separately.
Ex-wife? I ain't never been divorced.
So you have more than one wife.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. There ain't no place on this here farm to list all my wives. Not to mention the fact they don't leave you enough places to list your children either.
How many wives do you have?
6. But the 2 youngest haven't turned 18 yet, so I figure I'll list them as dependents.
Oh my. You're going to just have to list your first wife on your 1040, and then we'll file separate forms with the other ones, listing them as single head of household.
Well, now wait one darn minute there, Sonny. No woman of mine is going to claim to be the head of my household. I won't stand for it.
Now, it's only a classification. They won't really be heads of households. I mean, think of it. 5 women with no income and children to claim. You should get quite the refund, Lemar.
Lemar. That would be dishonest. I'm a God-fearing man. I couldn't cheat the government like that.
You do know that polygamy is against the law, don't you?
Yeah. Big refund, you say?
Very big.
Where do I sign?
You see, kiddies, everyone can get a refund just so you know which deductions to take. And if you're willing to sit through a very long audit. As for Lemar, prison might be a vacation when you compare it to having 6 wives reminding you to wipe your feet and take out the trash. Well, this is your old friend, the bookkeeper, reminding you that on midnight on April 15th, that is the cutoff.
Okay. Let's see, it's 7:20. Let's begin with round one of your boners. Here we go. 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You will decide with your vote. These 3 candidates, which one is the worst? Which one deserves to go forward to boner fight, possibly becoming boner of the day? Winning here does not make it boner of the day. It just secures a spot in Boner Dome, the final battle. Round 2 happens at 8:20. 3 more candidates, another winner there. Take that winner, put it against this winner, and that's when you have boner fight at 9:20 this morning. That's when you'll decide boner of the day with your vote. So right now, send one of these 3 forward from round 1. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, you'll vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
tickets to the Botanical Halloween festivities at Red Butte Gardens from October 14th through the 31st. We've got, doesn't say how many tickets, it just says tickets. So you will get some amount of tickets to this event at Red Butte Gardens.
That would be more than one, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Boner candidate number 1, it's her own dumb ass fault. It's her own dumb ass. Okay. I'll just do this. One of the most basic rules of the road is to proceed with extreme caution anytime you see workmen out doing their worker thing. Not only do you want to avoid hitting somebody, but you don't want to get yourself or your vehicle mixed up in whatever work they're doing to make the road a safer place. Well, a Redditor shared a video over the weekend of a woman who didn't pay much attention to the surrounding road work that was going on and drove right into a slab of wet concrete while in a rush to get to a nearby bank. Now, the video didn't catch the act itself, but it did show the aftermath, a tow truck trying to drag the vehicle out of the slowly drying cement. Perhaps
is that even something you can clean up? I mean, how would you get that?
Yeah,
is your car ruined forever?
That's a high-pressure hose. That's what you got to do.
Go down to Evco House Hose. They'll get it for you. Perhaps most hilarious is the spinning wheels suggest that the driver was trying to help by pressing on the gas, as nearby workers advised her, worry about your brakes. The jokes for something like this are too obvious, and Redditors never miss an opportunity for puns. That's what somebody says. It was her own dumbass fault for doing this. Boner candidate number 1. Boner candidate number 2, you know, our neighbors, they're just dicks. Bill Gross, billionaire, Bond King. He's known as the Bond King. He was found guilty in contempt of court for tormenting his California neighbors by blasting music at them again. Orange County Superior Court Judge Kimberly Nill ruled that Mr. Gross and his wife Amy violated a 2020 order that prohibited the couple from playing loud music outside their home. Now, the two have been fined $1,000 each and face 5 days in jail each as well, and a ban on outdoor music of any kind. Due to the pandemic, however, their jail sentences were suspended, replaced with 2 days of community service. This trial was a travesty of justice and a black mark on Orange County, Gross said in a statement on Friday, in which he claimed that the judge could not overcome her bias. He also claimed that she was using the case to advance her career. What had happened here is the Gross family had set up this sculpture, an installation they called it, $1 million lighted glass art installation along the property that they shared with their neighbors. Well, the neighbors didn't like it. It was bright, and they said it obstructs our view of the ocean, and and it's glaring all the time, and it's right next to our house. Well, some city inspectors and stuff went out and looked at it and said, they've got a case here. It really is. And so the Grosses did some things to fix the installation. I won't go into all of those details, but they were angry at their neighbors, and so they decided they'd get back at them by playing the Gilligan's Island theme on a loop as loud as they could with giant speakers aimed at their neighbor's house.
Yeah, but doesn't that affect them too?
Well, apparently they were willing to put up with that.
Our spite will make it so we can't hear our own. You know.
I think very likely they would put it on and leave the house, and they so of course they got fined for doing that, and they were enjoined by the courts to stop. Well, they started doing it again because they're just dicks.
Yeah.
Well, now something left out of this story, and I'm very curious about is which version of the theme song was it? And the Rest or the Professor and Mary Ann?
I'm not sure, Carrie.
It's very important.
They need to mention Professor and Mary Ann.
Let's see. It doesn't.
Does not say
here. No.
Oh wow.
It's very sad.
Yeah, that'd get to you after a while.
Why did they have so many clothes with them for a 3-hour tour? How did they have changes of clothes?
You mean the Howells?
Yes.
Because everybody else pretty much wore the same thing. Well, the Howells are rich. They always bring their luggage with them all the time. I thought I'd explain this to you. All right.
Yeah, they had dozens and dozens of outfits.
A 3-hour tour.
You've got to be ready.
Fetch my trunk.
You've got to be ready for any situation.
Boner candidate number 2. Our neighbors are just dicks. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. He's a gifted artist, so he deserves a second chance.
All right. Boner candidate number 3 for round 1 coming up after this. Big Boy News and Opinnuendo brought to you by
Moochie's would like to thank their loyal customers for supporting their locally owned and operated business. Moochie's has been voted Best of Utah for over 17 years. Dine-in, delivery, and pickup available.
About 3 years ago, the actor Stanley Tucci was strapped to a board in a New York hospital while he received radiation therapy to get rid of a tumor at the base of his tongue. A specially designed surgical mask had been snapped over his face so he couldn't move, and a plastic bite block was inserted into his mouth with just a small hole for him to breathe. It was horrible, Tucci said. After 3 radiation sessions, he started experiencing vertigo and losing his appetite. After a week, anything he ate tasted like cardboard, slathered with someone's excrement, he said.
Oh, jeez.
His mouth was filled with ulcers. Throughout all of that, Tucci said he wasn't afraid of death. He was afraid of losing his sense of taste completely. He said, I mean, if you can't eat and enjoy food, how are you going to enjoy anything else? He tells this story in a new book, which I'm sure Gina will get and read. It's called Taste, My Life Through Food. And it's going to be published on Tuesday. It's a memoir about his love and occasional hatred of eating and drinking and reminiscing on his mother's cooking.
But he does a TV show about eating and drinking.
Yeah, so he's written a book about it now. Yeah.
Was he in this condition when he did the show?
No.
This was a while ago.
This is a while ago.
All right.
He says acting, that's secondary. Eating and tasting and doing things with food, that's my primary thing these days. And Clint Eastwood, he's $6.1 million richer.
Yes.
He won a lawsuit against a Lithuanian company that was using his image on CBD products.
Really?
Yeah. He said he got word of it, and this company they claimed that they owned the right to his likeness, and he said no, you don't, and he sued them, and he was awarded $6.1 million on Friday in a lawsuit that had been filed against this Lithuanian company.
Well, this is good news for Clint because Cry Macho didn't make any money, so.
Yeah, I don't think so. Let's see. So, rising death toll of COVID-19. Every one of these deaths is unnecessary. They said we should not be having any deaths by COVID anymore. People will still be getting sick, but there's just no reason that people are dying. It's 90. In the 90th percentile, I think, of the people who are dying are unvaccinated. Merck and Ridgeback Biotherapeutics have created an antiviral pill that companies say can reduce the risk of COVID-19 hospitalization and reduce death by 50%, but they're not going to prevent you from getting the virus like a vaccine should. Now, of course, there are people who get the virus anyway, even after they've been vaccinated, but that's...
The vaccine keeps you out of the hospital.
Yeah, and it's pretty rare for you to get the virus if you have been vaccinated. Tell that to Brett Kavanaugh, Justice Kavanaugh. Apparently he's asymptomatic. He's not.
Yeah, they test everybody. They test all the Supreme Court all the time, and so.
Yeah, the Supreme Court. Of course, this is the first Monday in October, and the Supreme Court is in session. The future of abortion rights is in the hands of the conservative Supreme Court. They're beginning their term today. They will look at major cases on gun rights and religion. I'm sure that they will decide these things to my satisfaction completely.
6-3, Bill. 6-3.
Yeah. Utah lawmakers are considering a plan to counter the Biden administration's vaccine or testing mandate for some private companies. Legislators believe that they've come up with an unconventional plan that will give them some leverage. Conventional thought holds that there's not much room for the legislature to maneuver. The supremacy clause of the Constitution says that when there's a conflict between federal and state law, federal law wins. That effectively ties legislators' hands as they search for a response to the Biden mandate for companies to vaccinate their employees. They could always pass a resolution, but it wouldn't have the force of law behind it. But
let's waste time.
Well, there's a narrow path that they think that they will be able to block the mandate. Has to do with OSHA and how they operate in Utah.
OSHA makes you wear a hard hat at a construction site. OSHA makes you, have certain safety features on the cars you drive for your business.
But apparently OSHA in Utah is not the end-all be-all. There's apparently a state regulatory that is more powerful in Utah than OSHA. This is the way I understood it.
And we're a right-to-work state. Doesn't that come into effect here?
I've just received a text from Representative Karen Kwan, Dr. Karen Kwan. She said Utah Republican legislators.
I'm sorry.
Not all legislators.
Yes,
Utah Republican. Not the. So thank you, Representative Kwan. So apparently, OSHA is funded by a mix of state and federal money. And in the current fiscal year, $2.5 million of the budget of OSHA, of the Utah Occupational Safety and Health, comes from federal sources, and about $1.15 million is from state money. So they think that that's where their their leverage is right there. We'll see. Let's see. Let's do. Oh, Gina, here's a story for you.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard about this, and might want to look into it. A former French police officer confessed in a suicide note to being a serial killer who committed a series of rapes and murders in Paris during the 1980s and 90s.
Really?
Francois Verove fatally overdosed after he was called in for questioning and to submit DNA samples by police. His DNA was tested upon his death and confirmed him linked to several of the murders, ending a 35-year-old hunt for the killer, according to French news outlets. The serial killer, known locally as Le Griel, that means the pockmarked killer, was hunted for the last several decades after his murders and rapes drew chaos throughout Paris from 1986 to 1997. They never could catch him. Turns out it was his admission to being the murderer. It was him.
Well, I guess he did them a favor by letting them know that, but still.
Yeah, there hadn't been any. He hadn't been active since 1996. But so
well, we all retire at some point, hopefully.
You should look into some of the details of that for a morsel of
morsel of murder. Yeah.
And then just quickly, there's a new Snickers cinnamon bun bar coming out.
Okay.
It's Snickers. So of course, they have Snickers almond brownie and dark chocolate is available. But now cinnamon bun bar, Snickers cinnamon bun bar will be available in stores this month.
I'll have to try that. Okay. Weather, traffic.
So today's your outside day. You want to, Carrie, it's patio day for you. 81 for take the dogs out there. It'll be a nice day for that because it looks like the rest of the week we're going to have a chance of showers. So 81 today, 79 tomorrow, and then we're down into the 60s by next weekend, and there's a 50 to 40% chance of showers for the rest of the week. So quite a bit of a change. Friends of the program telling us about, let's see, we've got a 4-car pileup northbound I-215 just before the 146 South exit. We've got delays, 215 around 45th East. Emergency vehicles are trying to get through. That comes from another friend of the program. Thank you for that. I think you meant 45th South and not 45th East because UDOT's saying crash northbound I-215, 44th South in Mill Creek. That's
I don't think there is a 45th
Yeah,
East.
it didn't make sense. So, but I still appreciate you sending that in, 33986. Also, free water heater, middle of I-15 southbound around 6 North. So we're getting lots of home. A
lot of appliances.
Yeah. So thank you for sending that in. Just make sure it's safe when you text 33986. Get a newer car and reduce your current monthly payment by 20% guaranteed at Strong Volkswagen. Let them show you how today at strongvw.com.
Boner candidate number 3. He's a gifted artist. He deserves a second chance. Congressman Danny Davis believes in second chances, and he says that after R. Kelly does his time, he'll be given a second chance in his hometown of Chicago. The representative from Illinois' 7th Congressional District was on Capitol Hill Monday on the heels of the disgraced singer being found guilty on all counts in his federal sex crimes trial, and he offered an interesting perspective on the potential for R. Kelly to redeem himself. Representative Davis says because R. Kelly is a gifted, talented artist, he believes that he'll be welcomed back in the community after serving his prison sentence, and he'll be offered a chance for redemption. Representative Davis says that Kelly is very, very talented, and he should be given every opportunity to.
So talent outweighs other character flaws?
Representative Davis is responsible for submitting the Second Chance Act of 2007, which supports the reentry of offenders into their communities after they've been incarcerated. According to Davis, this is meant for people exactly like R. Kelly, talented people who still have a lot to get. I don't know.
No.
Boner candidate number 3. He's a gifted artist, so he deserves a second chance.
All right, so let's
If you're
review.
not an artist, to hell with you. We don't care.
Let's review the first 2 and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. It's her own dumbass fault that woman drove ignoring road construction signs and drove into a big thing of wet cement and got her car stuck in wet cement. Boner candidate number 2, our neighbors are just dicks. Bill Gross, a billionaire, tormenting his neighbors with loud music and in particular the Gilligan's Island theme song blared over and over again. And Boner candidate number 3, he's a gifted artist who deserves a second chance.
All right, here we go. This is round 1 of your boners. You've got to decide of these 3 candidates, which one is the worst? Which one deserves to go forward to boner fight, possibly becoming boner of the day? 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text, and then text that to 33986. Pretty easy. Or you can call the producer's booth, 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Voting October 4, 2021, and vote there. And once we get the results of this, we'll award Boner winner round 1. Round 2 happens at 8:20. 3 more candidates. We get another winner there. We take the winner of each round and put them both against each other You'll decide boner of the day at 9:20 this morning. That's when Boner Fight happens. So let's get our winner and start the process. Round 1. Vote now.
I was thinking today how much just this moment of one of our interns, the organized intern, Sarah, and I was thinking, I wonder how much it would cost me to hire her
For what?
as my personal assistant.
Here we go.
What?
You need a personal assistant.
Sure, I'd love one. I would love one. I think a personal assistant would do a lot of good things for me.
Like what? Do you
Well,
have dry cleaning that needs picking up?
yes.
You have a hard time getting around to picking up your dry cleaning?
Sometimes, as a matter of fact, I do. I have any number of organizing things that need to be done all the time. I need. It would be very nice to have somebody to post a bunch of social media stuff for me. At my direction, but actually do the work of it. It would be very nice to have somebody I could call up and say, I don't have time to go to the grocery store. I'm forwarding you my list. Please send it. Please do it. See, she's not. You know what I mean. There's any number of things.
You want to go to the store for Bill?
And she would love to. She would love to do it. She's nodding right now. But A, I don't know as I could really afford her, and B, I like her, and so I'm not sure that I want her to be on the receiving end of me saying, "What do you mean you didn't?"
Yeah,
things like that.
You would end up yelling at her.
Well, just we have to break here. But speaking as someone who has an assistant,
What do you need an assistant for?
Here we go. I feel bad having her do things.
That's what I'm saying.
And so I'm not utilizing her enough.
You pay her?
I do.
Then don't feel bad. That unless she's the sort of person who goes, okay, I'll get right on that.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes, if it's that sort of thing, then I need a different assistant. So see, Sarah would go, that's right.
See,
right, Chief. As a matter of fact, I would insist. I'm paying you. Say right, Chief, after everything I say.
What I need is a personal assistant that I don't like.
Yeah,
that's what I need.
How do you find that?
That's the problem I think I would run into. I like Sarah
because my assistant Nicole, I like her. Yeah. I like Sarah. There's no way that I could put her to work as I need. It just anyway.
I could. I just wouldn't want to yell at her.
Yeah,
And you would. And
maybe
eventually.
Maybe.
All right, let's get this over
Chief.
with.
That's what Sarah, would you mind when you're here just saying right, Chief, when I ask you to do stuff, just for fun?
Let's see. It's 7:46. Let's award round one of your boners.
And round one of the boner voting is brought to you in part by Cool and Creamy Macaroni Salad.
And Botanical at Red Butte Garden this October 14th through the 31st, an outdoor family-friendly experience to celebrate Halloween. Enjoy safe activities, live music, storytellers, puppeteers, and more. Online pre-registration is required at redbuttegarden.org.
Boner candidate number one was her own dumb asphalt. A woman who drove her car, ignored construction signs, work signs, and drove into wet concrete. I thought that was pretty good, but it came in a distant third in the voting. Boner candidate number two, the one I thought would win, our neighbors are just dicks, this billionaire. I mean, how petty. He's blasting his neighbors. He's been arrested for it before, and he keeps doing it. But for some reason, number three really struck a chord. He's a gifted artist, so he deserves a second chance. That's according to a Chicago representative who said that R. Kelly deserves a second chance, a shot at redemption when he gets out of prison. That got over 100 votes, and that wins round one.
That's your winner of round one. It now goes forward to Boner Dome. Might be Boner of the Day. Round two coming up at 8:20. 3 more candidates. We get another winner there. We take both winners, one of each round, put them against each other. You'll vote for Boner of the Day at 9:20 this morning.
I have a one of those things people like.
A list?
It's a
what?
It's a list.
It's a list.
That's a hard word to kind of remember, I know.
Yeah.
It's a list.
Here, let me get you a list here.
It's Radio from Hell with another list, because people love a good list. X96.
It's a list of Utahns who should have a movie made about them.
There's a list? Because I can't think of one Utahn that should have a movie made about him.
Well, are we on this list?
Well, let's find out.
I'm betting not.
I'm betting not. But the first one on the list, I'm confused because I'm pretty sure there's been more than one movie made about Brigham Young.
Well, sure.
But I think they mean like a big, like blockbustery, like the whole world will go
just
see.
about. Oh, okay. I mean, has there been one just about him, or has he been player in other movies?
He's been a player. I'm not sure there actually has been a movie made just about him.
Nolan Bushnell. You guys know who that is?
Yeah, he invented Chuck E. Cheese, essentially, and Atari? Was it Atari?
Atari video game, yeah. He native of Clearfield and is known as the father of video games, as one of the founders of Atari.
I know there's...
And then he did Chuck E. Cheese.
I know there's been a documentary, but not... I don't know if it's interesting enough for a movie, is it?
He's kind of an eccentric guy. He's still around.
Philo T. Farnsworth.
Yes.
The television.
Yeah. Again, I don't know how interesting this would be. It's more documentary.
But here you go. Yeah, he was an alcoholic. There you go.
Philo was.
Okay, so we weave that in.
Yeah.
That's a comfortable 15-minute pad there.
You don't know. An alcoholic could mean all kinds of drama in his life, Gary.
Okay.
There is a movie called Brigham Young from 1940, starring Dean Jagger as Brigham Young. Tyrone Power is in it. Linda Darnell. Vincent Price plays Joseph Smith.
I'm Joseph Smith.
John Carradine plays Porter Rockwell. This would be a good
saw an
movie
angel in the forest.
This would be a really good movie to see, I think. It's got a great cast.
I thought it was a ghost at first, but it's an angel. It was quite scary.
I'd like to see that.
Price as Joseph Smith.
See, again, my impressions are very, very niche. But
let's see. We have Gene Fulmer. Do you know who Gene Fulmer is?
Boxer, middleweight champion, heavyweight champion.
The Mormon Mauler.
Yeah,
is what they called him.
Middleweight champion of the world. He had an interesting technique as a boxer. He used his face to block punches. He really did.
Jake Garn.
I know him.
Yeah?
He went to outer space.
Yeah.
Okay, besides that, there's the last 15 minutes of your movie, but...
he was not an alcoholic, so we can't...
He didn't invent the TV or see ghosts, so...
Mitt Romney. Ha ha ha.
No.
But maybe diving into his personal life, like maybe finding the human in
How about his robotics?
Yeah.
Martha Hughes Cannon.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a doctor, and she was the first woman
representative.
From Utah or in the country, I think.
And she ran against her husband and beat him.
Yeah.
Okay, so that could be like some sort of political intrigue type show there. Yeah.
Let's see. Danya Jessup. She was a Jessup. You know what that is?
Polygamist.
But she escaped and now is the mayor of Hilldale, Utah. There's probably a story there.
Okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, I think she wrote a book called Escaping Polygamy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Was that her? Yeah.
I don't think that was hers.
Not her?
It was somebody else. But Gail Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth Smart. I'm surprised there hasn't been a fictionalized Elizabeth Smart.
That's a no-brainer there.
Claire Ferguson. You've never heard of her.
Claire Ferguson.
She was the state's first deputy sheriff, deputized in 1897. A 20-year-old skinny pretty girl had no suggestion of either strength or endurance. However, the stenographer turned law enforcement official proved them wrong with a successful completion of the 2-year program, and people feared her. She was
all
tough.
Be darned. Okay.
So there's her.
Okay.
There's movies to be made here.
Is that it?
No, we have Alice Kasai. Who's Alice Kasai, you ask?
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
Born in 1916, Kasai and her family moved to Utah after a stay in Japan to work in the mines in Carbon County. After the outbreak of World War II, she and her husband were arrested and placed in an internment camp, leaving Kasai not only to provide for her family, but to serve as a voice for Asian Americans in Utah.
Okay, there's a story there.
The Salt Lake City International Peace Garden is named after her. So,
there's certainly a story there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we found out of that whole list maybe 2.
Maybe. And we're not on the
We're not?
list.
No.
I don't see us anywhere on the list. So
Don't look inside my hat. Only I can look in the hat.
Who would they get to play us?
Us?
Who would they get to play us if there was a movie made of us?
Some young unknown. I don't know. Depends on when it's being.
Well, you'd have to do this.
What period of time would it be? Yeah.
Different stage. You'd have to find an actor who can play pretty young and then age himself or herself. Or maybe we could play ourselves.
no, I can't play young Gina.
And
how do you go? I've had the boob job already. I can't go back, and no one's going to believe I had these boobs in high school. That's just not.
Give me a young, flat-chested ingenue to play Gina Barberi.
No, Billy Barty is not going to play me.
Well, he's dead.
And he's dead.
He dead. All right. Well, there you go. Thank you.
We hope you'd enjoyed another list with Radio from Hell on X96.
I mean, if Billy Barty was still alive, maybe he could play.
Crash southbound I-15 milepost 325. That's Shepherd Lane in Farmington. It's off to the right shoulder. Crash northbound I-215 east at 44th South in Mill Creek. The right lane blocked there. Crash northbound I-15 32nd South in South Salt Lake. And let me check our message stream, see if anybody sent anything in there. No, but if you see something, we've seen a lot of free appliances on the side of the road today. Maybe you're going to see something like that, or animals running loose, whatever you think friends of the program might need to be made aware of. text them to us, 33986. Flying Vampires, yes. Dracula the Ballet arrives October 22nd. Tickets at balletwest.org.
All right. We got Bill Frost telling us what's on TV this week. Right after these messages. Stand by for that. RanLife.com.
You know, I've dealt with Ran Life a couple of times to refinance a mortgage, but buying a house is it's a mystery. There are all kinds of ins and outs and things that you don't understand. Well, Ran Life, I can tell you, will make all of that very clear. They make it clean, they make it simple, they make it transparent. They do everything kind of under one roof, so you don't have to go here and there and everywhere to get your home buying done. Ran Life can securely upload all your documents through their smart app and directly into your file. You don't have to go into their office. Everything can be done remotely, and it's really a very slick process. So they're free, no obligation quotes from their experienced loan officers. Start your journey today with Ran Life. You can go to their website, ranlife.com, or you can call 801-478-4500 for Ran Life.
Today, we examine another group of words used by most Utahns called L words, or words that end in ELL. And to help you with today's lesson, each time an L word is used in the following dialogue, a bell will sound. Imagine, if you will, our two friends, LeVar and LeGrand, together in LeVar's trailer house. The TV is on. A conversation ensues. Again, these are L words.
I love this TV show.
Yeah.
I am so glad that someone is showing the reruns of McKell's Navy.
Me too. You know, I would just love to set sail with McKell myself. Hey, you remember the one when the wacky crew of PT Boat 73 tried to save that beached well?
Oh, yeah. They had a hard time because of this big storm.
Yeah.
Gale force winds and hell stones the size of golf balls.
Yeah.
But they saved that well anyway. McKell did not fall.
Well, no thanks to Gruber. Yeah, that was quite a tell, though. Hey, listen, give me some of them snacks, would you? I'm hungry.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
What?
Trell mix.
Yeah.
You're not going to like this, LeGrand, but Trell mix makes me thirsty for just one thing.
You're not going to be drinking beer in front of me, are you, LeVar?
Oh, no. I'm going to have me a glass of L.
L is beer?
Yeah, but this is pretty mild. It's that Pell L from Squatters. It's so mild I can drink a whole bucket of it.
You'd get drunk if you drunk a whole Pell of Pell L. Then you'd get throwed in jail, and I'd have to bail you out. Oh, hey, looky here what I got in the mail. It's a flyer from Deseret Book. It says here that Dan Quell is coming to town to sign copies of his new book.
Boy, the liberals sure rode Bush and Quell out of Washington on a rel.
Sure did.
They fought tooth and nail, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Hey, I hear that this new book of his really lifts the veil of secrecy about Washington life and what really went on. You know, I'd like to see him. What Deseret Book is he at?
Well, the one by that big jewelry store.
Big jewelry store. You mean Morgan's Jewelers?
Nope. Zell's.
There we go. All right. Do we have a giveaway, or we just...
No, let's just Bill Frost, brought to you by CableTV.com. It's the place for expert reviews, recommendations, and resources for discovering the best cable, satellite streaming, and internet services near you. Check out CableTV.com today.
Well, Bill Frost is here, and I think we should stop doing this feature because I can't possibly watch everything that. There's so much stuff.
There's no way.
There is so much stuff, and I get sidetracked or I get lost. I forget what I've been watching, and so if you've got a bunch of new shows, Bill, that are really good, I don't think I want to know about it. Now, maybe I just won't listen. I'll let Carrie and Gina listen. But Bill is, of course, a TV writer for Slug Magazine, and also he has a podcast about television, nominally about television, I think, called TV Can. And he's in a band. And where can you find all that stuff, Bill?
You can find it at billfrost.tv.
Okay. So have you got a bunch of new stuff?
There's maybe a couple here you might want to do earmuffs for, so you don't know about them.
Okay.
I think we're safe with the first one here. There's a new CSI, but it's actually kind of the old CSI premiering on Wednesday, CBS.
Now this confuses me. This confuses me.
Okay.
Explain.
Okay. All right. There's a new team, but they have a big case they have to solve, so they call back in Gil and Sarah and Hodges to help out. And that would be William Peterson, Georgia Fox, and Wallace Langham. And they're back, and so basically it's a bunch of new fresh faces helped out by the original CSI people.
Well, Georgia Fox hasn't been working much, has she?
Well, I haven't seen either of them, William Peterson or Georgia Fox, in anything since CSI ended. So I don't know
William Peterson does dinner theater. I know that.
He does.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
I gotta check that out. Okay. So that's on Wednesday on CBS. Another CBS news series dropping on Thursday, Ghosts. This is an American adaptation of a British series. It's a comedy starring Rose McIver, who you might remember from iZombie.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a little more color in her face this time around. and Utkarsh and Budkar, I probably destroyed that, from Free Guy. They're a young couple who inherit an old, very old house, and they decide we're going to spruce it up and turn it into an Airbnb. The problem is it's loaded with ghosts from various periods of time, from the 1700s up to the 90s and beyond. There's at least 8 ghosts in here, if not more. And only she, Rose McIver's character, can see them. And wackiness ensues. And Carrie, there is no laugh track.
Okay, I'll if I find the time, I'll give it a try.
Are you sure that there's no laugh track, or maybe the jokes just aren't funny?
Maybe the audience just wasn't getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it's a funny premise. I don't know how many seasons you get out of this. The British series has gone on for at least 3, but those are short seasons, so I don't know. I don't know how long you get with this. And on Friday, Bill might be interested in this one, so earmuffs.
Okay.
A new Apple TV Plus series, Acapulco. You've probably seen a lot of ads for this. It's about a man looking back on narrating his time when he landed a sweet gig as a cabana boy at the hottest resort in Acapulco in the 80s. And sort of a Wonder Years kind of setup there. And what I've seen of it so far is very funny, and of course the scenery's great. So you got all that.
Yeah.
And I would recommend checking this one out.
Okay.
And you've probably been faked out by a couple of what you thought were season finales of Ted Lasso, but Friday is the real one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the first season was only 10 episodes, and this season is 12. And, a lot of people thought, okay, well, the season's over. No, there's still one more to go.
There's still one more season of Ted Lasso?
One more episode.
Oh, one more episode. Okay.
Yeah. And Fear the Walking Dead is back on Sunday.
Fear the Walking Dead, which is it's better than
all around.
It's better than the original flavor of Walking Dead.
True.
Still?
Yes.
Because I gave up on it. You know when I gave up on it.
I know.
Should come back.
I'm still watching the regular flavor as well because they're going to finish it here pretty
this
quick.
This is it,
but
Yeah.
for sure.
So they say.
Is Rick going to
And,
come back for the last? No?
I don't know what's going on with that whole thing. He left to go make a Walking Dead movie, and I haven't heard a damn thing about that since.
No, Roy, as far as I know. And one of my kind of guilty pleasure TV shows, The Equalizer with Queen Latifah, is back on Sunday on CBS.
Oh.
It's cheesy as hell, but the cast is great. Queen Latifah, Adam Goldberg, Liza Lapira. Great cast. Yeah. If you don't see Queen Latifah coming, you're probably not a very good criminal.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't miss her, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, isn't that Queen Latifah?
Yeah. And here's one I missed last week. It dropped its full season last week on HBO Max. I don't know if anybody remembers a series called The Life and Times of Tim for HBO, probably about 10 years or more ago.
No, I don't.
It was an animated series. Very funny, very, very dry humor. The creator, Steve Dildarian, he has a new series called 10-Year-Old Tom. It's basically the same show, but it's like in an elementary school. And very funny. Voices include like Todd Glass, Jillian Jacobs, and John Malkovich.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for this thing, and it looked like it might be fun.
Yeah, there's a trailer at x96.com. I would, if you like very dry Adult Swim type humor,
yes,
you might want to check this out. Yeah.
Okay.
10-Year-Old Tim.
Tom. Yeah.
Tom. Okay,
this is confusing. The other show was The Life and Times of Tim. This is 10-Year-Old Tom.
Oh.
That could be
He's
confusing.
not making it easy for himself. I know.
No. Steve would have worked just as fine,
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. And that's it for the new stuff premiering this week. A little slower than last week, so a little less to keep up on.
Yeah, well, there wasn't anything there much that I was interested in, so thank you.
So you're good, Bill?
We're good.
Yeah,
I was just catching up on my usual stories this weekend. I had to catch up on Doom Patrol, which that show is just, it shouldn't exist. It just shouldn't exist. It's so crazy.
When the first season ended, I thought, well, that's the last I'll see of that, and now here we are in season 3.
It's so wild and weird and wonderful. It just shouldn't exist. Okay. All right, 10-Year-Old Tom. All right, I'm writing that down. All right, maybe we'll get some drops from that. I'll let you know. Thank you, Bill Frost.
Thanks,
Thank
Bill.
you.
Thanks, Bill.
Traffic, Gina, please.
Let's see what we have there. We have a crash. Southbound I-15, milepost 325, Shepherd Lane in Farmington. It's off to the right shoulder. That's the only thing UDOT's telling me, and you're not telling me anything via text, so I'm going to say that everything's looking good out there. Now, if you see something that's not looking good that you would like to alert friends of the program about, please, if it's safe for you to text, send it in to us at 33986. Anime Bonsai returns October 15th through the 17th to the Davis Conference Center. Enjoy cosplay, gaming, panels, anime, art vendors, and people watching. It's going to be an incredible year for Anime Bonsai. Get tickets today at animebonsai.org.
All right.
Boners round 2. Here we go. These are the titles you'll be considering. Boner candidate number 1. Trump attracts liars like a pile of S attracts flies.
Mm-hmm.
Boner candidate number 2. Learn how to use your photo editing, sir.
I saw that one.
And boner candidate number 3. Doctors called it a unique case.
Boners round 2, big boy news, all coming up after these. Stand by. Park City Area Restaurant Association presents the 8th annual Dine About Park City, happening now through the 17th.
Yep. ParkCityRestaurants.com is where you can go to find where all of these 30 or more participating restaurants are and what specials they're offering. You can get, $10 to $15 per person for 2-course lunches, $20 to $40 per person for 3-course dinners at a variety of Park City restaurants that maybe there's one you haven't tried and you've always meant to. This is the way to do it.
Yeah, and you can actually make a weekend out of it. The colors are just beautiful. It's a great time to be up in Park City. And Park City Restaurant's lodging partner, Stay Park City, are offering exclusive lodging packages for Dine About guests. So you can find out about all of those at parkcityrestaurants.com. There's a link there to the lodging options as well.
Have a good dinner, stay overnight. Park City Restaurant Association presents the Dine About Park City through the 17th.
Flay. Flay. Spell it with me now. F-L-A-Y. And now we'll use it in some dialogue as LeVar and LeGrand have gone to the food court at the mall for lunch. Again, the word is flay.
Oh, I am full. That was a mighty good meal, LeVar.
Pretty good.
Hey, you think that me having a large order of chili cheese fries at the A&W was good for me?
Well, I don't know if it's good for you or bad for you, but you eating them is bad for me.
What?
I mean, we're going to have to drive home with the windows of the pickup rolled down for sure. What a smell.
Sorry. Well, I wonder if them fries was good for Mart. I'm kind of getting chest painy since I ate them.
Probably just some big old gas bubble trapped near your left ventricle. You know, you should have what I had for lunch. A hard, healthy sandwich from Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
Eating them fries was worse for you than eating a big old hunk of filet mignon. All that fry grease is going to go right to your arteries.
Oh, hey, how come they call a filet mignon a filet mignon?
I don't know. I guess because it's a flame-broiled piece of meat that is so thick and heavy that when you eat it, you get sleepy and start to yawn. Therefore, i.e. and etc., a filet mignon.
Oh, filet mignon.
Yeah, filet mignon.
Ooh, looky here. Here's a blood pressure machine here to the drugstore in the mall. Let's see. Let's pop in a quarter, and I'll check my blood pressure. See if them fries has pushed it up any.
All right, go ahead.
I'm sort of not feeling too
Put
good.
the quarter in there, then. Go.
You'll have to squeeze your forearm a little. You must be absolutely still, but relaxed during the test.
It means it's going to squeeze your arm there.
What's it doing now? It's like clamped down on me like some kind of ferocious animal.
I don't know. Oh, my God, what's this flashing light mean?
I don't know, but I
It's
think
flashing real fast.
it feels like my heart is starting to speed up really fast.
You don't look so good, LeGrand.
I'm feeling kind of weak and pale, like.
What? You're pale. You're drooling. What's wrong with you?
I'm not feeling too well. Get my arm out of here.
I can't get your arm out. It's stuck on there.
Can't take this anymore. It's squeezed my arm too hard. I'm feeling faint. Everything's going kind of black.
Somebody call the paramedics.
Test is finished. I will display the results. You may remove your forearm. I didn't get enough information that time to give you accurate readings for everything. If you want to try again, push the start button to begin the test.
No fetching way. I'm not going through that again.
You said you didn't get it right the first time.
I'm not going through that again. Let's just run over to the Chick-fil-A and get me a soft serve ice cream.
Okay.
That's real, isn't it?
Yeah, there are just little clips. Those are just little clips of their show. It doesn't get any better than that.
Mm-mm.
You know what they sound? They sound like they're sleeping together, and then they go to the studio and they don't know what to say. Well, we can't talk about the fact we're sleeping together, so.
I haven't,
They pay them for that.
I was going to talk about local news, but we have friends in local news, so I'm going to back off. So, all right, let's get to round 2 of your boners. Here we go. 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior, and you will decide with your votes of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to Boner Fight, possibly becoming Boner of the Day. I say possibly because if it wins here, it's not Boner of the Day. If it wins here, it'll have to go up against the winner of round 1's voting. We did that already. We'll take both winners and we'll put them against each other. And at 9:20 this morning is when you'll vote for Boner of the Day. That's when Boner Fight happens. Right now, pick one of these 3 to send forward from this round 2. Here we go. 2 candidates. Now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, you'll vote, and one of you lucky random Boner voters will receive.
Well, X96 is proud to welcome Jimmy Eat World and Taking Back Sunday, Wednesday, October 13th at the Union. And we'll have a pair of tickets for a random Boner voter.
Boner candidate number 1. You know, Trump attracts liars like a pile of ass attracts flies. Here's the story. The Marine Corps has refuted a public claim made by a Marine that he was the one who lifted a child over a wall at the Kabul, Afghanistan airport in a photo that went viral. Stephanie Grisham's tell-all book about Donald Trump's presidency is about to be published. I don't know why that line is in there. Lance Corporal Hunter Clark was invited to a September 25th rally held by Trump, and Clark was introduced to the Georgia crowd by Trump as one of the Marines who helped evacuate children over the airport wall. You saw him. He did a great job. Well, Mr. Clark shook Donald Trump's hand, told the crowd that was chanting USA, USA, hey, my name is Lance Corporal Hunter Clark, and I'm here from Warner Robins, Georgia. I'm the guy that pulled the baby over the wall, and it's definitely probably one of the greatest things I've ever done in my entire life. Not so fast.
No.
Yeah.
The Marines have released a statement saying, regarding that photo that began circulating around August 20th, 2021, the Marine identified in that particular image was not Lance Corporal Clark. The 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit has initiated a command investigation regarding Lieutenant Hunter Clark's attendance at the event last weekend to determine if the DOD policies were violated. By the event, they mean the Trump rally.
Yeah.
It's unclear whether there were other examples of U.S. babies hoisting U.S. troops hoisting babies over a wall, but that photo, the one that everyone saw,
that's not him.
That was not Clark. But somebody told Trump it was, and Clark went along with it. And he's
Well, part of the qualifications to even get on that stage is you have to be a good liar.
Yeah.
And Trump seems to attack liars just the way a pile of ass attacks flies.
Oh, hell yes.
Boner candidate number 1. Boner candidate number 2. Excuse me. There it is. Learn how to use your photo editing, sir. James Kurtz needs to work on that. The Missouri man sought this week to sell a new catalytic converter via a post on Facebook Marketplace. Mr. Kurtz included a photo of the boxed auto parts up for sale. What Mr. Kurtz did not seem to realize was the image also showed a large bag of meth and a syringe on a table in the background of the photo.
Oh, that's for sale, too. It's a different clientele.
You could easily have cropped that out, but he didn't.
Or just moved them.
Well, and that catalytic converter's probably stolen, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Kurtz Mr. Kurtz was the police. Somebody showed the photo of the police. They found him, investigated. They found that he had a .38 caliber pistol, and he's barred from possessing weapons because, well, he is a parolee. He has a felony conviction, and it goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah, it just keeps stacking up.
Boner candidate number 2: learn how to use your photo editing, sir. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3: doctors called it a unique case.
All right, boners. This is round 2, and we got boner candidate number 3 coming up after this. Big boy news and innuendo, brought to you by.
At the height of its power, Angkor was a glorious city, but by the late 16th century, the empire was crumbling. Come along on a 3D adventure to unveil the mysteries behind the lost jewel of Cambodia. I believe this is a film opening October 15th at Clark Planetarium.
Will Smith says The Wild Wild West is the worst movie he's ever made.
Oh, hell no. I mean, maybe.
He has done a lot of other movies that are kind of crummy.
What else? Maybe that is
what's
the
that
worst one.
What's that one where he and his son are
That's
in
a good movie.
No, it's not.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
That's
I think in that interview, if you read that interview, he mentions the pursuit. He says, he says from good, one side bad. He says good, Men in Black, bad.
And the Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness is one that he considers bad.
I like that movie. He's wrong.
Oh, no, he says, I think my best movie, I think it's a tie between Men in Black and The Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
But as I recall, the critics did not think it was a good movie. Is that the one where they're on a planet or something?
No.
They're on a spaceship or something, aren't they?
No. Pursuit of Happiness, he's a father and son, and they're homeless. And
they did one where they're on a spaceship or on a planet or something.
That's Men in Black, I'm pretty sure.
No, is it After Earth? Is it that?
Yeah. That's what it's called, After Earth.
one.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Is that the new one with his son as well?
No,
yeah.
No, it was a few years ago. Gemini Man is one of his most recent ones, and I meant to see that one, but it got such bad reviews that I didn't.
So anyway, a suspect has been arrested in the murder of Aaron Lowe. Police say that 22-year-old Book was identified as the suspect and taken into custody in Draper. Mr. Book was arrested for aggravated murder, attempted murder, felony discharge of a firearm, each a first-degree felony. He violated a probation or parole. This was a shooting that should have never happened, said Salt Lake City Police Chief Mike Brown. We have some answers today. I know there are still so many other questions that people want answers to. So do we know why he did this at this point?
We don't. It doesn't appear personal or, like I think it was a bad, you know what I'm saying? Wrong place, wrong time kind of thing.
Book is also accused of shooting a 20-year-old woman that night, who has not been identified by police, and she remains in the hospital in critical condition. They say that Book fired 2 or 3 shots at the victims. After they were hit and fell to the ground, Book allegedly walked up to them and shot them some more. The woman who survived told investigators she believed he was trying to finish us off. But again, they're not talking about motive at this point. COVID is killing rural Americans now twice as much. It's twice the death rate as urban areas, according to a new study. The first surge of COVID-19 in the spring of 2020 initially hit urban areas, cities, the hardest, with high rates of infections and deaths, according to a study for the Rural Policy Research Center. At that time, many rural communities were largely untouched. But subsequent waves of the pandemic tore through rural areas as well, where many people are older and in poorer health. They are unvaccinated, and they are more likely to live in poverty, and where medical facilities are also inadequate and overcrowded. Rural rates of infections and deaths began pulling ahead of metropolitan areas in the beginning of the summer last year, the study noted. Students walked out of class at a junior high school in Utah County. Students at Mapleton School walked out of class on Friday after the Nebo School District said it's investigating reports of sexual harassment. A student and parent in the community said several of the interactions go back to one male student at the school. She isn't the first victim, and she won't be the last until this kid gets help, because he does need help, said Lindsay Jones, mother of an 8th grader at Mapleton Junior High. Jones's daughter, Cassidy, said a boy kissed her without permission the first week of school and has since grabbed her inappropriately. We take every single complaint seriously, whether it's written, verbal, or every complaint, said Lana Hiskey, a spokesperson for the district. The administration at this junior high has done that. Jones says she thinks the inappropriate grabbing could have been avoided entirely. She said Cassidy has spoken up to the school before about what happened. And apparently this kid, whoever he is, he's not identified, is a source of some fear at the school, but, you know, particularly among the female students. I think it's interesting that the students decided that they would make their feelings about the whole thing known, and they walked out of class on Friday.
Well, it's working, because now people are talking about it, so maybe something will be done.
There's been a major oil spill off the California coast, threatening wetlands and wildlife. 126,000 gallons of oil spilled into the Pacific off the coast of Orange County. It's creating a 13-mile slick, dead fish and birds washing ashore in some areas. A pipeline failure is what caused this oil spill. The pipeline, I guess it's under the water there, caused at least 126,000 gallons of oil to spill into the Pacific Ocean. Not immediately clear what caused the leak in the pipeline. Officials said it occurred 3 miles off the coast of Newport Beach. Involved failure in a 17.5-mile pipeline connected to an offshore oil platform, which you can see. You can see those oil platforms a lot of times when you're at the beach in California. When I was with friends who lived in California, they'd say, "Oh no, those aren't oil rigs. That's Japan. You can see Japan from here." I just always thought that was funny for some reason. It's Japan. And Nabisco.
I mean, you got dolphins. You got dolphins swimming through oil. Apparently, I've seen.
Nabisco is releasing Nutter Butter Cakesters. And also Oreo Cakesters are returning.
I'm listening.
So instead of the hard cookie, it's a little cake. You know, little cake.
Oh, soft.
Yeah.
Soft,
So
it's a soft cookie.
So it's the same flavor, just a soft version of those crunchy ones.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So a Nutter Butter Cakester would be really tasty.
I like this idea.
And a Nutter Butter. Apparently, they've done the Oreos before.
I've had the Oreo before.
Have you?
Now, is this just a temporary thing, or are they here to stay? I hope they're here to stay.
It doesn't say.
Because the different flavors and all those different combinations, you're just lucky if you see it at the store and can pick it up.
Yeah, no, it's. I'm looking through the story, and it doesn't say if they're going to stay or if it's just a temporary thing. But if you see them, snap them up, because you won't be able to. They'll go fast, I'm sure. Cakester. Oh, those Nutter Butters look really good in the picture too.
That does sound good.
All right, that's it.
All right, sports, weather, traffic.
RSL versus Colorado at Rio Tinto Stadium. This is happening Saturday, October 16th, and you can win some tickets from us. Text RSL to 33986 for your chance to win. Message and data rates may apply. NFL yesterday. Lots of talk about the Buccaneers beating the Patriots and Tom Brady. Yes, he's great and whatever, and he's a good
really is
football
amazing.
player. And I have to admit he's a good. I don't like him, but he doesn't eat tomatoes or sugar.
I saw an interesting little an interview with him about. They were just talking about his career. Nobody wanted him. He was drafted like last.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted him, and he'd had a pretty good college career.
Ravens over the Broncos, Packers over the Steelers, Cardinals over the Rams, Cowboys over the Panthers, and the Seahawks over the 49ers. Monday Night Football, it will be the Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers. That's 6:15 tonight. And we have Jazz preseason game. If you've been missing basketball, you'll be able to see the Jazz play the San Antonio Spurs preseason game tonight. That is also at 6:30. Weather, today's your outside day. I've given Carrie instructions to take the dogs outside and sit in the sunshine because that's 81 and sunny today.
I got a stack of comics.
Perfect.
All right. Okay.
Because after that, looks like Tuesday on, we've got pretty good chance of rain showers likely Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, up to 60% chance some days. So cooling and wettening.
A wettening?
A wettening. We have
The
a
wettening.
on the way.
A moisturizing.
Traffic, we have a crash northbound Bangor Highway 22nd South in West Valley. Let's see what else we have here. We've got... Well, that looks like that's about it. So things seem to be moving well. If you see something not moving well, you can text us 33986 and I'll pass it along to friends of the program for you. Are you searching for Pokemon? Locally owned Haster Games has the best selection of Pokemon, Dungeons & Dragons, Magic, and more. Shop online at HasterGames.com or visit the store. 6831 South State. Curbside service is available.
I have this update. I had this just in about the Oreo Cakesters.
Yes.
And the Nutter Butter Cakesters.
Yes.
My inside source at Nabisco has told me that they will be coming to store shelves nationwide in the beginning of 2022, and they are going to be permanent.
Good news for
permanently. Is it? Yep, that's right. Permanently.
Now, since we're talking about these temporary snacks, I want you to keep an eye out for fudge-covered Ritz crackers.
Oh, I've had those.
They start to show up around Thanksgiving.
So I need to stock up on them, is what you're saying.
So look, I know my Harmon's puts them in the Christmas aisle for some reason, but
They're good.
They are good.
All right, here's boner candidate number 3. Doctors called it a unique case. A Lithuanian man was rushed to the hospital last week after swallowing more than 2 pounds of metal. Why did he do this? He was trying to give up alcohol. The man admitted to taking in to eating nails, screws, nuts, knives, in a bid to curb his alcohol addiction. He underwent an emergency 3-hour surgery at Klaipėda University Hospital. Some of the objects were 4 inches long, said the surgeon, Dr. Dalanidas. He told the Lithuanian News, "This is a unique case."
What? Well,
the man
why
is now
eating metal a substitute for alcohol?
It's a known substitute for alcohol. Eating nails is a known substitute. I don't know.
I know it's dangerous to eat that, but I ain't drinking.
There's a picture of all the stuff that they took out of him. It's just amazing.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, boner candidate number 3.
All right, let's review the first 2 and vote.
Number 1, Trump attracts liars like a pile of S attracts flies. The Marine Corps has disputed the claim of a corporal who told a Trump rally that, that picture of them pulling a baby over the fence in Afghanistan, that was me. That's me who did that. Not so much. Boner candidate number 2, learn how to use your photo editing, sir. a Missouri man forgetting to crop the meth out of his Facebook post when he was trying to sell a catalytic converter, and there's a bag of meth and a syringe in the background. And boner candidate number 3, doctors called it a unique case.
All right. Okay, here we go. You've got to vote for round 2 of your boners now. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text, and then text that to 33986. Pretty easy to vote that way. Or you can just call the producer's booth there in Salt Lake at 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Or go online, x96.com, looking for the box that says Boner Voting October 4, 2021, and vote there, okay? Now, if the winner of round 2 here is not Boner of the Day, we're going to take the winner here and put it up against the winner of round 1's voting, which we've already done, and we'll take both of those and put them against each other. You'll vote for Boner of the Day at 9:20. Right now, we're just advancing one of these from this, round 2, to go forward to Boner Fight. All right, you have until the end of these messages to do so. Let's go. This is round 2. Time once again for one of our new regular features. It's called
Hello, Sailor Boys! Sail the 7 seas.
I have sailor mail from Festus, who's at boot camp at the Recruit Training Command in Great Lakes, Illinois. It says,
Festus is Gina's son, ladies and gentlemen. Most of you know that, but it doesn't help to reset.
Hey, Mama, 19 days till graduation. I've been a lot busier the last few days, and being busy makes it more bearable living with 90 18 to 25-year-old males. It's usually hard enough just living with myself. We passed our bunk makeup and personnel inspections almost flawlessly and are currently at the top of our training group.
Now wait, so they inspect their bunk, they inspect their makeup, and they have training sessions. I didn't know they wore makeup.
Apparently.
You know, the camouflage makeup, you know?
Our drill or marching inspection is in 2 days, so we've been marching for at least 2 hours a day to practice for the coming week. Next week, we're going to do guns. You know how much I love guns. USA, USA. And the week after that, firefighting training. We're pretty much on our way to being the cat's pajamas, but like in a cool military way. Last night for dinner, we had pulled pork and potatoes, too, so you could say it could be worse. Yeah. By the way, I think Pulled Pork and Pistols should be the next Clint Eastwood movie, probably, if he hasn't died already. Has he? I want to know everyone who's died since I've been here. I missed the news. I really went from 0 to 100 knowing everything that was going on, coming here and knowing diddly squat. So give me the headlines. By the way, I appreciate the friends of the program that have sent me letters telling me what's going on, too. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see you when I get out. And the mountains. I also want to see the mountains. Sorry if you haven't gotten my letters. The Navy's mid-pandemic postal service is not up to par, but I'm getting more of them recently. P.S. I know my handwriting is atrocious, but really, who is expecting any more than that? Love, Festus. I also got a message from his wife yesterday who said, has Festus called you today? No, I haven't talked to him. He hasn't called me the whole time he's been gone. He gets a few phone calls, and they always go to his wife.
Mm-hmm. How long has he been gone now?
He left on July 26th.
Okay.
So, I said, no, he didn't call me today. Why? Is anything wrong? And she said, well, I was driving, and I missed his call, and I'm wondering if he called you instead. I said, no, I didn't hear from him. Let me know, because they have scheduled calls, so you're close to your phone when it's supposed to happen. And she texted me a little while later, and she said, well, he was supposed to get a long phone call from me, but someone in his division thought it'd be funny to put shaving cream in somebody else's boot, and so the whole division didn't get their phone call.
Oh,
really?
Those swabbies, those jacktars.
Really? This far in, we're still doing stuff like...
That's what you do when you sail the 7 seas.
So, they punished the entire unit?
Yeah.
Yes.
because one guy?
Yes.
Yes, because you are supposed to be as one.
I don't want to be that one guy.
So
I
can you
saw
imagine?
Full Metal Jacket. I know how they take it out on you, you know?
Can you imagine saying, I get to call my wife, I haven't talked to my wife in a week, and I get a 5-minute window of a phone call, and they take it away from me because some jerk in my division decides to fill a boot with shaving cream.
I saw what
That's the
happened.
Navy for you.
I saw what happened to Vincent D'Onofrio in Full Metal Jacket. The socks with soap in them, you know.
Yeah.
And they hold him down, and I don't want to be that guy.
No.
Well, don't join, and don't put cream in anybody's boot.
No.
Well,
I want to thank friends of the program again. I got lots of letters for Festus that I've been printing off and sending to him. And yes, he appreciates the news, as he keeps saying. It would be hard. Like, for us, we do this every day, and we are very involved in the news. Can you imagine being, I know Carrie tries to go on blackout sometimes, but can you imagine being, not even having access to the news if you wanted it? Like, you have no idea.
it would be delightful.
You think so, but it would drive me crazy.
Well, it's like I said, it's because of what I do for a living that I'm paying attention to things. If I was not doing what I do for, this radio show and Geek Show podcast, I wouldn't pay attention to most of that stuff.
Yeah, I would let a lot of stuff slide.
I think I would just let it all go, you know?
But I had to write him a letter and tell him Chadwick Boseman died.
Oh, you didn't know about that?
You had to.
Well, no, that's what he wants to know. He's like, I need to know who died. Tell me who died.
Stop. He thinks he wants to know that. Keep it from him. Hide the ugly truth.
Your boners.
That actor who plays the spirit guide in Reservation Dogs his name is Dallas Goldtooth.
Cool.
Yes, and here, round 2 of the boner voting, and it's brought to you in part by a bratwurst.
Flying Vampires? Yes, Dracula the Ballet arrives October 22nd. Tickets at balletwest.org.
So we had boner candidate number 1. Trump attracts liars like a pile of ass attracts flies. The Marine Corps has had to dispute the claim of a corporal who told a Trump rally, told Donald Trump, and then told a rally, yes, I'm the Marine who pulled that baby over the fence in Afghanistan. That picture you've seen. No, you weren't. Boner candidate number 2, learn how to use your photo editing, sir. A criminal trying to sell something on Facebook Marketplace and took a picture of it, a catalytic converter, didn't crop the photo very well, and there's a big bag of meth and a syringe in the background. And boner candidate number 3, doctors called it a unique case. A man who tried to quit drinking in Lithuania. This is a Lithuanian folk cure, I guess. He said, I'm going to stop myself from drinking by eating metal. So he ate all kinds of screws and just ridiculous. They pulled about 2 pounds of metal out of this guy. Let's see. So the voting was pretty strong for all of the candidates. Number 3, the guy eating the metal, he did well, but none of the 2 could beat number 1, Donald Trump and the pile of S.
Yeah. There you go. That's your winner of round 2. It now goes forward to Boner Fight. Might be Boner of the Day. Depends on how well it does going up against the winner of round 1's voting. You'll find out, and you'll vote at 9:20. That's when Boner Fight happens. All right. Is this sponsored, Gina?
Yes, Botanical Halloween festivities at Redview Garden from October 14th through the 31st. Check out x96.com for details.
All right, brand new episode of GeekShowPodcast.com available now. Name of the episode is Babylon 5. Babylon 55. All right. Box office, as predicted, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, made a lot of money.
Really well.
It did very well. It's got quite the following. 90.1 million domestically, which is a sizable haul for a mid-pandemic movie.
Which is now a metric we need to pay attention.
It is. It's the new methodology of measuring for the next little while because it, as you recall, Black Widow had 80 million. The thing about Black Widow is that it was also available at home on Disney Plus if you paid a little extra money. I would have went to see this, but we're in a pandemic, so I'm not taking my chances.
I'm not crazy about the first one, though.
I thought it was just okay. I wasn't enough of a fan to rush out into a pandemic to see the second.
And rent a theater for it.
Exactly. Internationally, it did well thanks to Russia, believe it or not. 13.8 million in Russia, becoming the highest opening for a Sony Pictures in that region. So I thought that was interesting. Now, the movie has yet to release in China, and it's not even clear if it will. Because,
why wouldn't it?
Well, the Chinese board of, you can play the movie in our country, they're very picky.
Huh.
Here's how weird they are about it. Movies with ghosts.
Are there no ghosts?
You won't.
Really? That's a...
Yeah, like Ghostbusters. You're not going to see that in China.
Really?
Because there's ghosts. There's so many weird rules. So like Black Widow and Shang-Chi weren't released there for various reasons, which is interesting because Shang-Chi, Chinese. You know? It's strange. But here we're talking about Venom. Here's the thing. The new James Bond movie doesn't open until next week. Or, no, this Friday? Friday's the 8th, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already made $119.1 million.
From people that think they've seen it? What?
No, they released it in 54 different markets.
Okay.
Foreign debut.
You're such a chauvinist.
That's
it has to open in America first.
But it's already made that much money in foreign markets. So once it opens here, I'm sure it'll do really, really well this weekend because I'm hearing really good things about it. Here's a little interesting thing. Marvel is now the headline's a little misleading. Marvel suing to keep rights to Avengers characters from copyright termination. What it is Marvel is countersuing the family members of people who helped create these beloved characters who are suing for it's a whole thing.
They want a piece of the pie.
Yeah, we're talking about the families of the comic book creators. We're talking big characters: Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Falcon, a whole bunch of others. The complaints come against the heirs of late comic book geniuses, including Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, Gene Colan. The suits seek declaratory relief that these characters are ineligible for copyright terminations as works made for hire. Now, if Marvel loses, Disney would be letting ownership of the characters worth billions slip from its fingertips. Unlikely.
Yeah. But I don't think these people actually think that's going to happen. I think they're hoping for, let's throw a little money our way.
I think that's what they're after. Last month, the administrator of Steve Ditko's estate filed a notice of termination on Spider-Man, which first appeared in comic book form in 1962. Under the termination provisions of copyright law, authors or their heirs can reclaim rights once granted to publishers after waiting a statutory set period of time. According to the termination notice, Marvel would lose the rights to its iconic character June 2023. Now, what I think will happen here is, Marvel and Disney will win the suit. But even if they don't, they'll make an arrangement. Let us lease this from you. How about that? Or here's
They're not going to lose it.
You're still going to get Spider-Man comics is what it boils down to. Now, the reason this is different than other litigation is because of what is called the Marvel method, which is how Marvel comics are written differently from other comics. It's a very collaborative process in the Marvel method. Even though it may say, written by this guy, I'm sure that 5 other people help contribute to the story. So that's really what's going to make this lawsuit interesting. But there you go. Guardians of the Galaxy is going to get a roller coaster at Epcot Center. It's a backwards roller coaster. I know, right? Sometime in 2022. The ride's big innovation is that it will go back. It starts out going backwards.
Yeah.
When you
So I've been
And
on
then
a roller coaster
Mm-hmm.
that'll go forward for a while and then go backwards and then go forward again. But
It's called the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind Ride. Now, that's opening in Epcot because, well, Epcot, not a lot going on in Epcot. So they're also launching, along with the ride, the Wonders of Xandar Pavilion, because, you know, they do that pavilion thing in Epcot.
yeah,
Xandar was destroyed by Thanos. I don't know if they know. Did they see the movies? Thanos destroyed Xandar. All right. And finally this, because we're getting, if you saw the Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, the character Peacemaker, played by John Cena, who's very funny. And he's getting a TV series, Peacemaker is, written and directed by James Gunn. It's going to be like 8 episodes. And people say, people have asked John Cena, what's the deal with you and James Gunn and this whole thing? And he says, well, one, James Gunn is obsessed with my tidy whities. And 2, he likes to see me dancing around.
okay.
So you're going to see that in January on HBO Max, the Peacemaker TV series. It'll take place right after the events that took place at the Suicide Squad, because at the end of that movie, he's in a hospital bed, from doing superhero stuff. Traffic, please, Gina.
Crash, eastbound SR 201, 10th West in Salt Lake. It's off to the right shoulder. Crash northbound Bangor Highway 22nd South in West Valley. That is also left shoulder. Crash northbound I-15 Pleasant Grove Boulevard, milepost 275. That one is off to the right shoulder. And let me check our message stream, see if friends of the program have sent in anything. No, but if you would like to, you can text us at any time, 33986.
All right. We will take a break. We will be back. We've got Boner Fight on the way, a reasonable amount of news. We're going to tell you about some concerts. We got a wellness check for you. All of that on the way. KXRK Provo.
The X96 app is a free and easy way to...
And now, let's try to beat Gina. It's the game show that even the living dead love to play. It's the kooky, ooky, and altogether spooky Halloween edition of our game. We have horror trivia galore all this month and fabulous prizes to get. It's a Radio from Hell tote bag. And now, let's meet our host, the man who knows that when hell is full, the dead will walk the earth. When he's not hosting our game, he's out killing zombies. Kerry Jackson.
Oh, thank you, Johnny. Thank you so much. How are things in the basement?
Oh, dusty.
Dusty. How do you keep your pipes working so well and all that dust, Johnny?
I thrive on dust.
Oh, okay. The announcer anomaly, that is Johnny. All right. Off the air, we tossed a coin to determine who would be our contestant, and we have decided that, the coin has decided, that is, Debbie is going to be our contestant for Beat Gina right now. Debbie, are you there?
I am. Good morning.
Hi, Debbie. All right, Debbie, we're going to toss a coin again to determine who goes first. It does give you an advantage in the game. Debbie, heads or tails?
Heads, please.
Heads. All right. Coin toss app says tails. Uh-oh. That means Gina goes first. Okay. All right. So this is it. It's Night of the Living Dead trivia. Gina goes first. Debbie, this means that this question is solely for Gina. She gets to answer it without any interference from you, like Orange 45. Don't step in there.
Shut up, man. Don't make me say it, Debbie.
But if she gets it wrong, you get a chance to steal the point away by answering the question correctly. So pay attention, even though it's not your question. Gina.
Yes.
Oh, first person to 3 points wins. As she fled from the cemetery zombie,
okay,
Barbara crashed the car that she and Johnny had arrived in. What did she hit? Was it A, a tree, B, a gas station, C, a popcorn stand, or D, Dennis Quaid's dignity?
I'm going to say a tree.
A tree is correct.
Yes.
It's 1-0 for Gina. Now, Debbie, you control the question, and we'll have a chance to tie the game. And, Debbie, we're having a little hard time hearing you. At least I am.
Yes.
Maybe you could step up to your phone a little more.
Okay, is that any better?
It's a little bit better, but speak up there. Debbie,
Okay.
where did Ben find his truck? Was it A, at the big Trucktober sales event? He saved a great deal of money on. B, Beekman's Diner. C, the Naughty Pine Cafe in Loa. Ask for Hazel. Or D, the Peach Pit Diner.
I'm going to go with B.
Beekman's Diner is correct.
That is correct. It's now tied 1-1. Gina's turn to try and answer a question.
Gina, which actor/actress played one of the Trapped Seven as well as one of the Living Dead? Was it A, Carl Hardman, B, Marilyn Monroe, C, Dame Judi Dench, because she can play anything, or D, Marilyn Eastman?
I'll go with D, Marilyn Eastman.
That is correct.
That was really difficult. It's 2-1. Debbie, now you have a chance to tie.
Debbie, what is Karen Cooper's single line of dialogue in the film? I hurt. That's A. B, MAGA. C, I turned myself into a pickle. I'm Pickle Karen. Or D, I can feel myself rot.
Oh. D.
I can feel myself rot? Good
Yes.
guess, but incorrect. I'm sorry. Gina?
Well, then it would have to be, as much as I want it to be Pickle Karen.
You're going to win. You're going to win, you know, if you get this right, Gina. And we
keep
won't
going
have any
for a
more of
minute?
these. We won't have any more of these fabulous questions.
Oh, okay, you turned me Pickle Karen. That's my answer.
Oh, no. Gina, that's incorrect. It's I
Oh.
hurt. Okay.
But you still control the question, I believe. That was the steal, so you still control the question.
Steal, so
Yes.
now this is your question. You control it. Gina, what does Ben use to keep the undead at bay? Is it A, that new Vin Diesel record? Have you heard it?
Yeah.
B, fire. C, circles of salt on the ground. Or D, an apple a day. Keeps the zombies away. That's the old saying, right?
That's what I heard. Yeah. I don't know. Do we need to stretch this out anymore, or should I just put a stake in it?
Yeah, we can just.
Okay. That would be torches. That would be fire.
Fire. There we go. You
Gina
are the winner,
wins
Gina.
the game.
Oh,
Fabulous.
Gina, way to go.
Yeah, way to go, Gina. That was
It's
brilliant.
all good. It's all good.
Debbie, you were a good sport. Would you like the promise of someday getting a Radio from Hell tote bag?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
Okay.
Hang on the line. We'll get your information, and someday someone will contact you about how to get it.
this day?
Yeah, in 2016, Gwen Stefani and Gavin Rossdale dissolved their marriage after 13 years.
Oh.
What did they use to? What did they use to dissolve it with? I mean,
a solvent of some
sort of solvent, or
yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and hit that, Katie, and let's
the
get
following is a sponsored feature.
Let's get Darren in here.
Yeah, brought to you
Darren
by
from the Stateroom.
Yeah, Music Monday on Radio from Hell is brought to you by The Stateroom Presents, creating concert memories at the Stateroom, Commonwealth Room, Eccles Theater, and beyond. For more information, go to @thestateroompresents.com.
Hi, Darren. How are you?
Good morning, Bill.
Darren, are you?
I'm doing fine.
Okay. Do you think that Gwen Stefani and Gavin Rossdale would ever get back together?
Well, I think that's what woke me up this morning at like 6 a.m. And I've been toiling over that question since then. So I still don't have an answer. Maybe by next month's Music Mondays I can help you out.
Okay. So what else have you been mulling over in your mind, Darren? How are things going in the music business as we ease back into things?
Yeah, it's been going pretty well. We reopened the Stateroom on September 15th. That was the first time we were open since March 11, 2020. We've had a couple shows at the Commonwealth Room. We've been busy at the Eccles Theater. It's been a busy month since we last chatted. It's been some fun shows. Some artists are really excited to be out touring and playing in front of live audiences, and we're excited to host them.
That's where artists make their money anymore, is touring, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're getting paid pennies on the dollar with Spotify, and I think they still have some revenue share there with merchandise, but typically that is generated when they're on the road. So, they've been sitting on their couches writing songs, collecting unemployment, and they're excited to get the hell back out there. So
hey, Darren,
we're happy to host.
So being in the business that you are, we speculate from time to time. What's your opinion? Why? I see Bob Dylan announced that he's going to go on a limited tour. The Rolling Stones are touring. They certainly don't need to do this financially. What's your opinion? Why do they do it?
Well, you want the optimistic Darren or the realistic Darren?
Both of them.
Well,
I think they do love performing. I think it's like an actor. When you think about actors that perform until they die, it's the craft. But I do believe that there is ego involved, and they need that recognition of thousands of fans cheering, or hundreds of thousands of fans cheering, and you make more money, you spend more money, you need to make more money.
Yeah, that's true. So what's coming up in your world at the Stateroom and the Eccles and the other venues?
Yeah, pretty good month. Actually, tonight we have Jay Bird at the Stateroom, which is a great indie artist. We have a couple shows coming up this weekend at the Commonwealth Room and the Stateroom, Shovels and Rope. Andy Frasco in the UN, who's a big party guy. It's a fun show. That's Friday night, the 8th. A couple sold-out shows with Tom Segura, the comedian, at the Eccles Theater.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a fun time. And we've had some really good shows at the Eccles. We had Los Angeles Azules last Thursday, which was like this just Latin party. I mean, everybody was up in the place the whole night. It was great to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I hate to turn the page to November, but we have quite a few shows then. We have Hassan Minaj coming into the Eccles, David Sedaris, Alton Brown, Heartless Bastards at the Commonwealth Room. We're going to keep plodding ahead this fall and hope more and more people are getting vaccinated. We have our vaccination policy at all our indoor venues, and I got to say, it's been probably 90% of people are showing up, showing their vax card, showing their ID, and walking in the door.
Yeah, cool. That's great. That's and it's I like the everything that you just listed there. There really is something for everybody there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I hear that Alton Brown show is just incredibly entertaining.
Yeah.
And
for those who are just kind of tuning in, wondering who the hell I am, I mean, we have a 300-person club, we got a 700-person rock venue, and then the Echo Theater is the fancy theater downtown that has everything from cirque shows to comedians to I don't know what you would call Alton Brown, experimental chef
I don't know.
comedy.
Yeah, cooking comedy. Yes.
So if
Cooking comedy, yeah.
So if you go to thestateroompresents.com, all of the venues are listed on the top right. There's the 3 lines. Click on those, and it gives you links to all 3 of the venues there and all of the shows, and you can see them there and get your tickets there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you want to give some tickets away too?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. To what? Which one you want to?
I think we should.
Which one?
I think we should do a pair for Andy Frasco this Friday. That'll be a fun one. If people like to get out and let loose, which I would imagine most people have been clamored up for a while. That's a really good one. We can do a pair for that.
Okay.
We have our 10th annual Halloween party happening on October 30th with Talia Keys and The Love. We've been doing that almost since we've been open, so we could do a pair for that as well.
Okay.
And let's round out October with Anderson East. He's playing at the Commonwealth. Well, round it out, I guess, start November, November 3rd.
Okay.
Sort of a rising soul country sound that's been happening for a couple of years. We've had him a few times at the State Room. Now he's stepping up to the Commonwealth Room.
Okay.
And, let's give that a shot.
Okay. Just call 877-602-9696, and they'll take care of it back in the studio. And hopefully we'll be back in person next month, Darren.
Yeah, I hope you guys finish up all the construction over there, and we can high five.
Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Darren.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You arrange all that stuff with Katie in the producer's booth and the tickets and all that. All right, well, let's take a break. We'll be back. Boner fight on the way, along with a reasonable amount of news after these X96.
It's simple. We give you a lot of music.
Are you sure about this?
Yes. Listen for a 1-hour...
right here in about 7 minutes. So before that, a reasonable amount.
I can't hear Carrie.
Why is
You
that?
can't?
Oh, there
Can you
you
hear
are.
me?
Yes.
All right. We got boners coming up in 7 minutes.
Okay.
So right now, a reasonable amount of news brought to you by
Scott Hale offering a $49 furnace tune-up for appointments scheduled by October 31st. Call 801-264-HALE.
So it looks as though the conservatorship for Britney Spears is going to end. But she says, I don't have any plans to go do any performing when that happens.
It's Britney Watch, keeping you up to date with all your Britney Spears news.
She'll just perform on Instagram, which she's been
She says performing is the last thing on her mind, despite the big changes in her life. And some folks around her believe she may actually never hit the stage again. Sources close to Britney tell TMZ she doesn't want to work or perform right now, and that's been her mindset for a long time. She's been enjoying her recent engagement, and her father is no longer calling the shots, but work and performing are not on the list of things she wants to do at all right now, even though she knows that there are a lot of people who want to see her do it, and there are a lot of people who know there's a lot of money to be made.
Oh, yeah.
If she does that. But she's made it clear she will not go back on stage as long, she said, as long as my father's involved in the conservatorship, I won't go on stage. But now that he's not, she's still sort of saying the same thing. I'm not ready to do that. You remember Robin Thicke.
Mm-hmm.
And he...
Blurred Lines.
He did Blurred Lines, and there was a video version of Blurred Lines that was for the internet only, because Emily Ratajkowski was completely naked wandering around during the video. She now says that Robin Thicke grabbed her breasts while they were filming Blurred Lines, and that he was pretty creepy. Suddenly, out of nowhere, I felt the coldness and foreignness of a stranger's hands cupping my bare breasts from behind. I instinctively moved away, looking at Robin Thicke, she writes in a book called My Body, set to be released next month. She said she initially enjoyed the shoot, but then, according to the report, Thicke, apparently drunk, began to behave boorishly, and she said it stopped being fun after that. He was, and that's pretty much the end of his career as well, because there were copyright issues, right?
Yeah, it wasn't this. It was the you got what you got to give to get
a Sam Cooke song or something.
No, it's a Marvin Gaye.
A Marvin Gaye song. Yeah. That's right. And
it does sound very, very similar.
Yeah. And Robin Thicke really doesn't have much talent. And then he got into trouble, got all kinds of trouble with his wife or girlfriend, Paula Cole? Is that who it was?
No, not Paula Cole, but Paula, yes.
Paula somebody. Mm-hmm. Somebody, Paula. Yeah, she said he's a creep and I'm leaving. And that's pretty much.
And we haven't heard from him since, so that's probably good.
Now, people who say that their families, they're very close, but if you disagree about COVID and vaccines, family members, if they disagree about that, there are many people who say, I'm not going to give my family members who don't believe in vaccination, I'm not going to give them anything for Christmas. I don't care how close they are to me, they don't get a Christmas present.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm okay with this.
Nearly 2 in 3 Americans say that they're looking forward to the holiday season this year, despite many planning on buying fewer gifts in general over budget constraints and others complaining of COVID-related uncertainty. But more specifically, 39% of people surveyed, there's 2,007 people surveyed, said, I can't afford to buy as many gifts as usual, and so if you're in my family and you don't believe in vaccination, you ain't getting nothing.
I support this decision.
Yeah. Aaron Lowe's family has reacted to the arrest of someone who shot their son. They are grappling with the 1-week anniversary of his death now, and they're processing the news of the arrest of the killer. There's a feeling that perhaps justice will be served, said Lowe's older brother, Christopher Jackson. We're still at a loss as to why this happened. Regardless of the major step in Lowe's case, Jackson said an arrest won't bring his little brother back. There's nothing that can do that. We want to get to a place, though, where our hearts are not hurting or hardened, he said. Jackson is 16 years older than Aaron Lowe. He's been by his side through it all. He says, it's almost as if Aaron's my child, he said. It really has affected me. It's been he was a big part of my life, and now that's gone. And there's still no word on what the motive may have been for this book to shoot Aaron Lowe. But he's he's only 22 years old, I think, but he has a pretty significant criminal record. He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
We have an excuse me.
What?
Well, we were saying that, excuse me.
Yes?
Robin Thicke is a judge on The Masked Singer, so he...
Oh, is he?
He is still working.
I wouldn't expect you to know that.
No, I had no idea.
Watch
Although
the show.
It's one of the most popular shows in the country, but we don't.
I'm surprised you don't watch it, Gina.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised you don't watch that.
You're
and
really
I'm
surprised.
Yes, I am. It seems to me like it would be right up your alley.
Are you unfamiliar with my alley?
I think you like cheesy things like that.
No. No, I don't.
Oh, I don't know. You like some pretty cheesy things.
I hate cheese. You don't.
It's the one.
My alley.
It's the ones you least expect that are watching that show. Not the ones you'd expect. The ones you least expect are watching that show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know anybody who watches.
People in my life, it's really surprised me. You know, some of the trashy stuff that they watch. It just surprised, you know.
I would say this. During the pandemic, I think a lot of people have gravitated towards stuff like that because it's complete escapism. It's like the furthest. It's not serious at all. It's I know a lot of people that have not Masked Singer specifically, but other things are like, I'm just gonna, dive into a trashy novel or something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I meant about you, Gene, is I think you have the tendency to like things that are really popular. You know, that's where I was going with that. You like, really popular music. You're on board with all of it, as a general rule, right?
Some of it.
Gina's sign-off is, are you unfamiliar with my alley?
Well, yes, I am unfamiliar with it.
You will remain so.
Oh, believe me.
It's Boner Fight. With Radio from Hell on X96.
Yeah, here we go. The winner from round one, which was this representative in Chicago, Danny Davis. He's a congressman from the Chicago area. And he says that R. Kelly is a gifted artist, and he deserves a second chance, and we're going to give him a second chance here in Chicago. When he gets out of prison, we will give him a second chance because he's a gifted man. Now, if he didn't have any talent, screw him, but he's gifted. That's going up against number two. Trump attracts liars like a pile of S attracts flies. A Marine Corps corporal has claimed to Donald Trump and then to a Trump rally, the picture of the Marine helping that baby over the fence in Afghanistan as all that chaos was going on. That was me in that photo. That was me, and I'm a Trump supporter. Well, the Marine Corps said, no, it's not that guy. It's somebody else, and he's just a liar. Boner candidate number two.
There you go. You've got to decide of these two candidates, which one is the worst? Which one should be boner of the day, 1 or 2? Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text. And then text that to 33986. It's one way to vote. Another way is just to call the producer's booth directly and tell them at 877-602-9696. Use your voice. Or go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Fights, October 4, 2021, and vote there. You probably won't see that box right away. So once you get there, refresh your internet browser so it'll appear. All right, you can click and vote there. You have until the end of these messages. Let's go. It's Boner of the Day.
Carrie? Yeah. It's Bill. I don't think I can make it into work this morning.
Bill, it's 2 a.m. What the hell's the problem? Wait a minute. You're not staying up all night watching Mary Tyler Moore on Nick at Night again, are you?
Yeah. Mayor has such a great job. She works with such fun people. I just can't make it in to do the show today unless...
Unless what?
Well, if you call me right back, I could probably make it in.
Fine. I'll call you right back.
Hello.
Mary, this Lou Grant.
Oh, Mr. Grant. Mr. Grant, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
I know what time it is, Mary. I looked at the clock the minute I ran out of scotch. Mary, I need you to do something for me for this morning's production meeting.
Really, Mr. Grant? Anything.
I need you to come in early and make coffee for the TV station brass.
Coffee, Mr. Grant.
And I need you to sharpen up a bunch of pencils, too.
Mr. Grant,
And I want you to present your idea for that WJM News Magazine show that you want to do.
I on Minneapolis? Really, Mr. Grant?
Really, Mary. And I'm going to tell the station owner that Mary Richards is the best associate news producer I've ever worked with.
Oh, Mr. Grant.
So I'll see you at the station bright and early, Mary?
Yes.
Good night, Mary.
Goodbye, Mr. Grant.
Who was that, Bill?
There is no Bill. There's only Mary. I'm sorry I woke you, Ted.
Oh, God. That's all right, Mary. Same here. I was thinking about that Eye on Minneapolis show that I'm going to anchor. Why couldn't we call it Ted Baxter's Eye on Minneapolis?
Ted, I don't think Mr. Grant would approve that.
I'll just beg him until he gives in. I'll just go, oh, come on, Lou. Please, please, Lou. Please.
We do have the wellness check here in a moment, but first let's award Boner of the Day.
And it's brought to you in part by, some baked beans.
And don't miss Cirque Mechanics, the greatest contribution to the American circus since Cirque du Soleil. One night only, October 7th at Kingsbury Hall. Buy tickets at utahpresents.org.
Well, as it turned out, it wasn't much of a fight. The congressman, number one, he got a few votes, but could not overcome the power of Trump and a pile of S.
Yep.
Nearly 100 votes, and Boner candidate number 2 wins.
That is your Boner of the Day for today, October 4th, now qualified to be Boner of the Week. Go ahead and hit that, Katie.
The following is a sponsored feature.
Get
Jenna is here. Yeah, Jenna from Nightingale College. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, Jenna, we talk about all kinds of things with you, and all of the stuff that you talk about, you can find links to at Nightingale College, their website, right?
Yeah, mostly. There's also some other external resources that I'll share with you at the end of today's session.
Okay, what are we talking about today?
So the last couple of times we talked about mental well-being for parents as their kids go back to school. And today, to wrap up this series, I wanted to give some tips to students as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing to remember here is that all school all the time isn't good for a child's mental health. And it's also not actually good for their academics, just as the same concept applies to adults in their work life. We need breaks, so do kids. And they also need some time to spend with their friends, to play sports, or to just do things they enjoy outside of school in order to maintain a healthy balance. And what I really want to emphasize here is that your child may not know when to ask for help, and that's why it's important to stay tuned in and watch for signs of stress.
Yeah.
Because, I worry about that with my daughter sometimes because she's so focused on school. She will never give herself a break. I have to make her.
Tell her to take a smoke break, Gina.
No, not a smoke break. I tell her, I tell her like, oh, you need to go walk the dog. She needs a walk. So it's not just telling her to go exercise. It's like, oh, go take the dog on a walk and then come back to this.
How do you tell if a kid is stressed though?
Yeah, what are the signs?
So the more common signs of stress, or kind of the early warning signs, are a sudden dramatic change in how much effort they're putting into school, or if they're avoiding school and tests altogether. So it's usually more of an avoidance when there are early warning signs of burnout. And that's usually coupled with a major change in attitude, maybe becoming careless or abnormally moody. Obviously, we know teenagers are moody, but if it's in an abnormal way, that's really important to look out for. And that's also paired with difficulty concentrating. And some of the behaviors you might see are trouble sleeping or eating a lot more or a lot less than usual.
So of course, I was joking when I said take a smoke break. Yeah. What are some of the things that you would suggest then, other than having the child go over to Gina's house and walk her dog for her?
Although that's a great one too.
Yeah.
There's actually a few things. I think one of the major things I want to highlight here is that it's really important to keep talking and listening and to boost your child emotionally. So celebrating even those small victories when they're showing signs of burnout or stress. Encourage good health, and then give them permission to take breaks from activities that maybe have become overwhelming. And then obviously some of the, ways that to relieve stress that adults can do as well is exercise, like taking your dog for a walk, meditation, and laughter. Have fun with your kids. It's never a waste of time. I think that's a really big one, and that one really hits home for me because my mom used to keep me home from school a couple times a year just to go shopping. And And it was always like my favorite thing when I woke up in the morning and she's like, do you want to go shopping today? And I was like, yes.
Oh, gee,
And like that really sticks with me.
If you'd only told this to my parents, I would be a much different man today.
And better dressed. You would be better dressed.
Among other things.
Did your parents instigate the smoke break rule? Is that...
Yeah, go have a cigarette, Bill.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is like my grades never suffered. So if my grades were suffering, maybe my mom wouldn't have done that. But I think it's one of those things that as an adult, I don't remember the tests that I took as a kid, but I remember the time I would spend with my mom. So that's never a waste of time. And I think that's a really big piece that some parents might overlook, or maybe they don't prioritize because, life gets busy. So
yeah, I think that's absolutely the case.
Right.
So what are some of the resources, Jenna? And then we got to go. So what are some of the resources you would suggest?
my favorite resource on this topic is from understood.org, and it's a site that emphasizes ADHD, but it has a lot of resources around various difficulties that school-age kids face. And there's a whole topic on stress and burnout on there that's really great.
Okay. And, of course, nightingalecollege.com?
.edu.
.edu. Yeah, nightingalecollege.edu. Thanks a lot, Jenna.
You're welcome. Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. All right, we will crawl towards the exits after these. Wendy's for breakfast. Yes, I encourage you to sleep in and, take that extra half hour. You'll thank me for that, and then you'll thank me, just like the fellow did on Twitter, thank me for recommending Wendy's for breakfast.
Terry, if I may thank you. On Saturday, I was up in Ogden going to my daughter's volleyball tournament, and it was early morning. Stopped by Wendy's for the sausage biscuit on the way. It was delicious.
I thought you would have went bacon.
No, I didn't. Well, I keep hearing about how great the sausage is. I had to try it.
The sausage is delicious. I don't know what kind of spice mix they're using in their sausage, but it's better than the rest. And, of course, the bacon is oven-baked bacon, the way that I think that it should be. That's me. But you got the fresh cracked eggs and the Swiss cheese and the buttery, flaky croissant. And these sandwiches are just $1.99. So the hard part is picking bacon or sausage. But for $1.99, go ahead and get both. You can afford that for $1.99 each. Why not? Hit the drive-thru at Wendy's.
The X96 app is a free and easy way.
Norm. Spell it with me now. N-O-R-M. And now we'll use it in some dialogue as our two Utah men, LeVar and LeGrand. Today the boys are standing outside the ward house, chatting with a new ward member who has just moved in from out of state. Again, the word is Norm.
Well, Brother Jensen, it's nice to have you in the ward. Where do you come from?
Yeah, what ward was you in and where?
I'm from a ward in Anaheim, California.
Well, we kind of spotted you as a Californian.
Yeah.
You may have noticed that not many of our ward members wear Hawaiian shirts to church.
Nor do many of the male members of this ward have pierced ears either, Elder Jensen.
Yeah, I'm hip. I felt like the brother from another planet in there. Thank goodness I wore shoes.
Well, why didn't you bring Mrs. Jensen and the little Jensens to church today? Maybe they haven't moved up here with you yet.
Or if they are here, I hope they're not sick.
Oh, no, I'm not married.
Oh, a Californian and a bachelor too, huh?
Hey, is Anaheim anywhere near San Francisco?
No, it's not. Anaheim is the city that Disneyland is in.
Oh, that's right. Disneyland. That's that big amusement park with Mickey Mouse and stuff, ain't it? We never been to Disneyland.
We've been to Lagoon. That's an amusement park. It's good enough for us.
You ain't gonna wear any of them mouse ears to church, are you?
No, I don't think so. I don't imagine I'll be wearing this Hawaiian shirt again either.
So, what did you do for a living down there in Anaheim?
Well, I was and still am a tax accountant, and because you fellows have been so nice, I'd be happy to offer you some tax advice for free.
I don't pay taxes. I don't have an income, so I don't pay no taxes.
And I have a fellow that does my taxes, Norm.
Oh, what's Norm's last name? Is he in this ward? I'd kind of like to meet him.
No, his name's not Norm. His name's Evan. Evan Christiansen. Why did you think his name was Norm?
You said your accountant's Norm.
No, he said his accountant was Norm. It's a city near Provo, Utah. Orem! That's where this Evan guy is. Norm!
Oh, sorry.
Sure. We'll see you next Sunday, Brother Jensen. You should save that shirt you're wearing, too. I'm sure we'll have some kind of luau night in the cultural hall this spring sometime.
Yeah, we all get a little crazy that night.
Hmm. 9:50 right now.
Aren't you having a colonoscopy this week?
I might.
Just wondering if we need to
next
do
week.
anything with. Oh, next week. Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those impulse buys, Gina. It's,
Tuesday is when that's supposed to happen.
That's what I thought it was this Tuesday.
I agreed to. Somebody called me up and said we're doing a study, and will you let us take some of your blood?
Ooh.
We're doing a study about colon cancer and. And I said, well, yeah, okay. It's because they'll give me a $25 Amazon gift card.
Well.
What are you going to buy with it?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't have something in your cart that you've been waiting to...
Well, I've got this 60-ounce bottle of clear Gatorade that I need to get
It's just
for the colonoscopy.
Yes,
so
yeah.
maybe I'll just get the 60 ounces of. I don't know where you can get those giant bottles of Gatorade anymore. You don't see them much.
Well, the biggest bottle is like.
There's one that's 60 ounces. I've seen them, but
probably Costco. Everything's at Costco. If it's more than you need, it's at Costco.
Probably. It's you can't. You said it's okay to do the clear. You should do the clear Gatorade. It's okay to do the blue or the yellow, but definitely no red. No red.
Yeah, that will
Gatorade.
You'll have the false positive with that.
Yeah,
That's a good
well,
idea.
they just can't see. They just can't see their way around in there. I think.
And beets, you can't have beets probably for a week before the colonoscopy.
Probably. I didn't notice that was something I. Well, no, because you clean yourself out, so you could probably have beets.
I still think you should avoid beets. Just avoid beets.
I like, you know why I like beets? They taste like dirt.
That's what I don't like about them. It tastes like you forgot to wash it before you put it in whatever you put it in.
They do, don't they, though? They have this kind of
yes, that's exactly
really
what they taste like.
minerally taste. I like them. They're with butter.
My husband's so weird. Like, he will eat anything on the planet, but the only thing he never liked was beets. So, and he hated the fact that he did not like something, so he made himself like beets. Like, he would order them at restaurants, and he was trying to, and he finally developed a taste for
I've done
them.
that with foods as I grew up.
You eat everything else. Why?
You're allowed to have one.
It's okay. And it bothered him that he didn't. I'm going to make myself learn how to like beets.
What is it that you don't like to eat much, Carrie?
I have a love-hate with broccoli.
Oh, I love broccoli. I just had some this weekend.
It just depends on how it's prepared.
Mm-hmm. Plenty of cheese sauce and it's fine.
Here's something I've started developing. I don't want avocado to be the star of the dish.
Okay.
It can be a side, but
it's an accent, but not the star of the dish.
I agree. I would agree with that.
Like in sandwiches, there's a couple of delis that I go to that way too much avocado. Too much.
Mm-hmm.
Taken away from the wonderfulness of the rest of the sandwich. The avocado is not the star.
There's not any food that I won't eat, pretty much. But I don't really care much for summer squash. Like zucchini and patty pans and all of the. They're just kind of watery and.
I like to throw some of the summer squashes on the grill for a bit.
Yeah, now that would be a much better way to prepare them.
Grill them up for a bit, and then not to the point where they're limp and dissolving, but.
But I made myself. There was lots of stuff that I didn't like as a kid that I sort of made myself. I said, okay, I've got to figure out why I don't like this, and I tried it and tried it and tried it. I don't care for. I like liver pate now, and that kind of thing, but I don't like cooked, like liver, just a chunk of liver.
Does anybody look at a whole menu of things and pick liver?
Yeah,
liver is something I've pretty much abandoned.
Yeah, there are people who love it, and they know certain places that serve it, and or you could go to Bill and Nada's and get brains and eggs if you want.
In the past?
Yeah, you could.
Take that time machine back to Bill and Nada's.
Yeah.
There's a Tesco there now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's where the gas station is.
Because Lord knows we needed another gas station.
Well, but there's not almost anything that I won't. And if I went to somebody's house and they were serving liver, I would probably eat it.
Well, yeah, because you're a guest. But what kind of a host would serve liver? That's
exactly.
That's
suspect right there.
What kind of a monster would do that?
A host that wants you to have plenty of iron in your diet.
It's a test. We wondered what would happen if we served liver.
Would Bill Allred eat that liver and not say a word? Let's find out.
Now, it's funny because now the chat room is weighing in on things, and here's one that you run into occasionally, but it's still amazing to me. Demetra says, I can't stand peanut butter. The smell of it nauseates me.
Oh, I love peanut butter.
That's Muhammad. Muhammad will eat anything.
But not peanut butter.
He hates peanut butter.
Oh,
all nut butters, all of them, or just peanut?
I think
because almond butter is great.
I think it's just peanut butter. It's something about it that he just will not eat.
Does he like peanuts?
He'll eat peanuts.
Well, it's like you with the ketchup and the tomato.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Gina will eat tomatoes till the day goes long, but she won't use ketchup. Oh, no wait, it's the other way around.
No.
And here's another one from the chat room. This is, my grandfather refused to eat corn dogs.
Well,
how do you? I don't know what the.
You can't.
Don't
Where
even.
does that come up?
Yeah.
I refuse.
Refused is the word.
What kind of a monster serves corn dogs?
Refused is the word that he used.
Grandpa, here's a corn dog. No, I refuse to eat that corn dog.
Yeah, chicken hearts. I remember Stimpsons in Ogden. They used to have deep fried chicken hearts and gizzards and stuff. People would get it at the drive-thru. Jim Facer loved the gizzards.
He loved them.
I don't care for them much.
Yeah, he loved them.
Organ meat in general is. I walked into my grandparents' house one time and it smelled like urine in the house, and I said, "What? Why does it smell like pee in here?" And my grandma said, "Oh, I'm just boiling these kidneys. We got some kidneys and they're delicious, but you got to boil them to get the uric acid out of them." No, I'm not gonna. I don't really want to eat that.
Yeah. It's like our first time in London, we walked past that meat pie shop, and it's just like suddenly everything smelled like pee.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the sign, and it says special kidney pie, and we're like, oh,
yeah,
pass.
I mean, once you get all that out of them, it doesn't
There's
smell
other
that
things
way
I can
anymore.
eat that you don't have to get stuff out of them before I eat it. So.
All right, let's do the promo and crawl towards the exits.
Hang on a second, gotta find it. I know it's here somewhere. There it is. Coming up on Tuesday's Radio from Hell show.
At 7 a.m., it's another Utah Word of the Day lesson with LeVar and LeGrand.
Then at 7:45, our son Kyle is back to talk about everything going on in his life.
Plus, 3-Bit Gamers Jonathan Deasing will be back with the latest in gaming at 8 a.m.
And, of course, there will be more on Tuesday's Radio from Hell show on X96. It may not be LeVar and LeGrand. It may be the Mayor Mona and his son Denver.
Denver and Don Criddle?
Don Criddle and his son Denver. It may be them. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to see. LeVar and LeGrand are starting to demand too much money.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's why we don't do it anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
We had the audacity to demand to be paid. All right, I think we're good. All business, we're good. Fine job as always, Katie. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
Are you unfamiliar with my alley?
Corey is next.